Fantastic. Hello, everyone. Once again, my name is Felix, and today we're going to be playing Mutant Year Zero, the first session out of 3 sessions we've played. Uh, because this started as a short play, but we're still continuing that continuum, but we're doing a little reset, kind of, I guess. With me today I have my players, Shard Angel, Night Bites, and Druttercup, all playing separate mutants in a post-apocalyptic ruined Sweden.
And
right.
which point Shard then turns his camera off. That's
Of
helpful,
course.
thanks.
If you're mentioned, you disappear.
Yeah.
Like the devil writing your name in his book, but it's me saying your name on stream. Anyway, cool.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. Well, Fish, yeah, I potentially, we don't know what caused the apocalypse, but who knows. Right. So, to start off the session, since we are going from a short play, we've already had a couple of things established, but I'm just going to go ahead and establish them again. So, you're all playing Mutant in a settlement you call the Ark. This is an old, what we know as a cruise ferry. A ferry. It's not a cruise ferry, it's a ferry, because those are two separate things, which I'm rapidly learning new ship words. A ferry that has been stranded on the side of river. I think I've had this discussion with my mother. We realized English doesn't have enough words for rivers and such.
We have words for rivers. We have everyone's words for rivers. From at least 4 different language origins.
Probably most of them being Scandinavian in some way, shape, or form.
Yep.
What words for river do you have? Alright, pause in the session. What's the English word for rivers? I need to know.
Okay, river.
River, creek.
Yeah. Tributary.
Stream.
Stream, tributary.
Rivulet. Yeah.
The one I'm looking for is elv, and that one doesn't exist, as far as I'm concerned. It's
No, that's a person with pointy ears, mostly from Tolkien.
Yeah, I mean, elv. There's 2 dots between the eye, and that's the difference between pointy ears and large river. Anyway,
Artificial rivers are canals.
Channels.
Yes, it would be closer to I guess, canal.
Canal.
Potentially, I don't know. It's a ferry stranded on the banks of concrete banks of a canal.
That does sound like a canal, to be honest, because a river would be natural, and if it was dug, then that was a canal.
Yeah, that's one thing too. This is specifically a natural river, as far as I'm concerned. I might be speaking out of turn here, and if there's another Swedish person in the chat who actually knows, don't tell me that I'm wrong. I'll live with my ignorance. That I don't know enough about Sweden's or its rivers. Except
I mean, the River Thames is a pretty big river.
Mm.
Yeah.
You get some fairly big ships going up that.
Yeah.
This isn't specifically made for big ships, but there is a big ship in it now. Righto. Anyway, right.
It wasn't for big ships, and now it really, really is.
No, yes.
This big ship is our home. Quit telling us this river's not big enough for us.
This river ain't big enough for the both of us. Sorry.
Righto. Okay. Yes. So in this settlement, this settlement is run by, what was the number? We have 231 mutants living in the settlement, along with one called the Elder, who is not a mutant as far as you're aware, but who has been running your settlement since as long as you can remember, honestly. The Elder is an ancient person, if the title wasn't making that obvious, who has recently started to recline in their rule over the Ark due to
Decline. Recline means they've laid back and they're having a chill session.
I mean, I mean, yeah. No, I stand by reclined. They're having a lovely time being sick and old. Uh, anyway, fair warning, there's gonna be a lot of weird translating words on the fly because my book is in English and we're playing in English. Disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. I'm not native English speaker, if in case you haven't been able to tell.
You speak English better than I do.
That's the bar is low. Sorry.
Wow, this major slam on Americans out of nowhere. Or is that just on Shard?
Just me.
Who knows at this point?
Okay.
America's a big country that, quite frankly, is too big for my taste and it slightly intimidates me, so I'm not gonna talk too shit about it. Right. Okay. Back in starting the sessions. You are. It's a ferry. It's a ferry. It is kind of not very well defended. But we're going to start this session as we're going to start every session from now on. As long as you're in the Ark with. I forgot the word. A council meeting.
Okay.
I can't say the word. A meeting to decide what the next project for the Ark will be.
Okay.
And shift and in constant. You're basically trying to rebuild civilization, patching one hole in an old ferry ship at a time, and not trying to murder each other whenever possible. So, in the way it works, it's very kind of mechanics based. Since you will not be playing your characters, you will be representing the different wills of the people in general by choosing which project you'd like to work on. There are several different ones to choose from. I didn't bring up the list because I am because I know what I'm doing.
It's okay, I'm just showing people Martin the Martin now. I've just got images layered in that space. And I feel the need to show people Martin the Martin.
Yes, this is a very common figure that is plastered through several parts of your home, the Ark, the settlement. Particularly in one close to the Dawn Vault, which is where you keep all of your cool artifacts from the ancient world you found. Where Skipper Martin the Martin is very is adamant about everyone to play nice, which is why there has been a strict no violence rule added to the play area, because under Skipper Martin the Martin's gaze, who could commit any evils? I mean, look at him.
Well, let's face it, he's staring into your soul as it is.
At certain parts, the ancient world sticker has almost been like peeled off, and only the eyes remain. It's terrible. But
just the eyes remaining, people could sort of draw and scratch other faces around the eyes.
Oh, terrible! I hate that. Yeah.
There's an image.
Very nice.
Wasn't the first artifact that we put into the storeroom the suit?
Yep.
Yes, there is a suit in the Dawn Vault at the moment. There might be some other like bits and pieces that you've gathered from the ferry that you've deemed extra important, but not that many things from the outside, from the zone. But we're going to have a council meeting. Let's see. There is only specific ones we can do based on the development levels of the Ark, which are currently, as a reminder, you have Crop at 2, Culture at 11, Technology is 5, and Warfare at 0. There's a lot of culture going on, not much of anything else.
Yeah. Yes, that goes a little bit.
We're a well-cultured group of mutants and survivors.
Yeah. Right. Things you can build. If there's anything you like in particular, you're already thinking that you would like to focus on, do tell. Like, if there's anything, instead of me reading from this long list of things, is there anything in particular you feel like you want the Ark to focus on at its current state?
I think some form of defense would be useful.
Yeah.
Defense would be good, you know. Also, more food supplies.
Yes.
So, I'm sorry. There was 4 stats. I only got Crump 2 and Tech 5. I didn't get the culture in the other one.
Oh, culture is 11 and warfare is 0.
Culture is 11. Holy heck!
Yeah, that's because you handed in the suit. When you hand in things to the door
we
wall.
did the stats and then added the suit in on top.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes.
I think Drop rolled it, so of course you rolled almost the highest thing you can roll. If I remember correctly.
See, during this meeting and needing to have some sort of defense and defense being brought up, I'm kind of thinking that in the game I should probably give up my auto pistol.
You could give up your pistol, yeah.
It is an artifact.
It is an artifact. Or you could use it to shoot people.
I keep it to hide my bullets.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like the most efficient wallet ever. It's a wallet that defends itself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, if you open it wrong, you shoot yourself. It's perfect.
Flashbacks to that why maintenance is important with firearms video.
Yes. Oh my word, yes.
Right, so in that case, things you could build to increase specifically defense would be like a palisades or like a walls to basically put up just a mediator defense between the entrance to the arc and the rest of the zone. Or you could do things like you could do God, translating on the fly is not working for me today. God damn it.
Walls?
You
What's
take
it
your
called?
time, dude.
A watchtower. That's the word. A watchtower.
Watchtower.
Which you can do because your technology is at 5 and you need 5 to be able to build it. Which will raise your defense by a T6. Wall would raise it by 2 T6. But it requires more working force to build the walls than it is to build the watchtower.
Are the stockades a thing? Would they, because they're traditionally designed to go up quickly?
Define stockades for me, please.
Stockade, sharp, pointy wood or metal stakes designed to surround entrances and hamper invaders.
That would be the wall thing. I'm fairly certain that would be the proper translation of it, actually, come to think of it.
As opposed to actual defensive walls.
And
yeah, they call it... palisades is the word they're using. Yeah, so stockade would, that would be similar. Yeah.
Okay. Okie dokie.
I think that's the only things that has to do with defense that you can build at the moment.
So we can build ourselves a stockade, which is passive. We can build ourselves a watchtower, but that does require somebody to be on guard.
Which would require training of people being on guard.
Yep.
Isn't necessarily an issue. You have a lot of people, and some doesn't have, like, there's no proper societal system in place, which means that everyone has work or occupation. And, well, I mean, when it comes to training, none of you know anything, so there wouldn't be any training, because you wouldn't necessarily know, like, none of you are, like, to begin with, are... If you know what I mean, like
not military-wise.
Either.
So we have to make it up as we go.
And yeah, I mean the main difference between them is that it will take you more working force to build the palisades than it will the watchtower. The watchtower is easier to build.
Okay.
Also, aren't we basically sitting on... Isn't the river around us made of concrete now?
I mean, the river is behind the ferry. The ferry is kind of stranded up on a concrete bank, I guess would be, like, what's it called? A dry shore?
Dry dock?
Dry dock, I think the proper term would be, yes.
Okay.
Dry dock.
So there is water, like, I think we said, like, about 100 meters behind you. Maybe a little less.
part of that whole palisade thing, we could just dig a giant moat that would naturally be filled by the river behind us.
If you know
Probably
an
wouldn't be
easy,
big
if you know
because
an
it's
easy way, if you know an easy way to dig through
We
concrete,
need to find an artifact that breaks concrete.
And there you go. Once you do that, I will allow you to do that. But until then, in case you like to increase grub, there is also things like a hunting, a hunting,
we will go.
a hunting team that could basically, instead of it's just the three of you chums going out, it will be, there will be organized things where we pick a couple of people who they go out to expeditions to bring back food. Or you could resort to cannibalism.
Have both asses.
And there's also, you can make things like plantations. I don't think that's the right word. Farms. You can do agriculture as well.
Hydroponics.
Plantation works.
Yeah.
Yes. And as well as a pigsty. Those are the options available for you.
Oh, we've just
No,
had...
Fish, we do not need a torture chamber yet.
For clarification, for the benefit of the tape, I don't want to steer the arc in a bad direction, but the torture chamber would give the same warfare boost as a watchtower, same WP cost 2. Yeah. Fish, you've decided not to play and you're just giving us the bad ideas.
You can't actually build the torture chamber because you need a defense of 10 to be able to build it. And you have a defense of 6.
Oh, well. Now
Well, there
I
we
want
go
the
then.
defense.
That's not an option.
Fortunately. Or unfortunately.
So, each of these projects takes a certain amount of time, doesn't it? And we can only do one project at a time?
You can only do one project at the moment, and you can start a new one once this is finished. I'm just quickly checking. Yeah, all right. Yeah, so basically, the way it works is that different projects have different work points based on the project itself, which is multiplied by the number of people playing, which, lucky for us at the moment, is only 3 instead of 4. Which means they will be slightly cheaper for us to build things at the moment. The way it works is that basically, if you do nothing, it will take a certain amount for it to be done. Otherwise, your characters can go and work on the projects. You will roll a skill, and for every success you get in that skill, you will lower the work point by 1 until when it reaches 0, it's done.
I'm just having a look. An idea just floated into my head from absolutely nowhere, and it definitely wasn't just posted in chat. That a museum might be worth looking at.
Yes.
If anyone's got the rule book, you're on 105, page 105.
We're going to be the first armored museum new to this new world.
Yeah.
You can come with good things, but we'll shoot you if you don't get out.
Yeah. I see no downside to this.
Why can't
That's a good way to set up trading with other arcs if we ever discover them, in terms of they can come and visit and see our cool stuff, and they can pay us in food.
Exactly. An exhibition of objects from the old age. The people can come here to learn about the ancient world. Requires culture 5, which we stomp on now, and skills.
Double it.
Yeah. Now skills comprehend.
Yes. So that's basically what you need to roll successes for to lower the amount. It's the same amount
6
of work points as the wall. It will only raise culture and technology.
Yeah, but it would raise technology.
Yeah.
That's the thing I'm thinking of. It would up our technology significantly. A D6 on
Having
both
increased
culture and
technology
tech.
would be great.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking this actually, because there's not that many that do the multi-purpose.
No, that's very true. And you already, with the suit having arrived, it kind of, like, I can see it working thematically as well, because you just bring in an artifact from the old world, and they go, okay, there's definitely more things out there that we can obviously feasibly find, and start a collection. I should mention, since your crub is let me check. I'm fairly sure at the moment that you are letting more people die when you don't have, since you have that lone crub. I'm fairly certain. Oh no, never mind. No, it's basic. No, never mind. Upping crub means that less. Just saying.
I love new sessions. They
Don't
always
worry,
go-
we'll find an artifact that helps increase our grub culture.
Yes. That's actually potentially horrible because now I'm having Conan Exile moments. Where producing extra grub is a very different proposition.
I thought we
Right.
were leaving you alone about that joke.
What would you like to do? Which project
Cheers,
would
Fish.
you like to?
In terms of defenses, we're fairly new to going around and stuff, so don't necessarily have enough attention to need to defend anything yet, potentially.
You haven't really stumbled upon any proper threats except
Yeah.
from
So
people.
No, the threats we have stumbled across, I shot in the head.
Yeah, and did come from your arc to begin with.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm thinking I'm looking at other things, but I'm thinking, to be honest, the museum's not a terrible idea.
I'm cool with the museum. We can fix the grub later. Also, if I do turn the gun in, what would that give us? Is that tech or warfare? Or both?
I am fairly certain it's. Oh, it's actually. The gun will up technology by 1t6 and up defense by 1. You'll get 1 point and 1t6 technology.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So we could do the museum, I could turn the gun in, and we could potentially get 12 technology.
Only if we let Drud do the rolling.
Yeah, only if you do.
Yeah, okay.
Which I'm now tempted because Drud did the last roll, so I don't think I'll let Drud do the roll. I think I'll let someone else do it. Otherwise, you're gonna use the magic that Drud possess like for metagaming, and I can't.
We have to take advantage of our metagame skills.
What is this magic you talk of?
You know the
Well,
sacrifices you.
some call it magic, some call it the ability to maneuver things with your mind.
Yeah, shape
accused
fate
of
and reality
telekinesis.
through your wills and whims. Wills and whims. Oh, whims. Right.
That's the one, Fish. Thank you. Reality manipulation.
It's either reality manipulation or it's telekinesis. Yeah, we know this.
That's also a word I was trying to think of but couldn't.
Yes.
Right. So it sounds like is everyone in? It sounds like nothing else. We have a majority voting for a museum.
Yeah.
That the decision will. Do you want to lock in your answer?
I'll phone a friend.
I don't. Wait, here, I'll use a pillow as a button. I'm locking in my answer right there.
Right, excellent. That means it will take us. I need to do math, which is not my strong suit. 6 work points it will take for you to lower this. Right. Okay. So during this council, the I don't know. I think council is the proper term for it. I'm not. Let me just Google. Let's see what Google Translate is
Council would be it's a gathering of leaders or a group of people sitting around discussing how to make something happen.
Yeah.
Council would be, according to Google Translate, council is the correct term.
Yeah, sounds about right.
What's the Swedish term?
If it's including everybody in the arc, a moot would also be a valid term.
Yeah, a moot, if it's everybody.
Yeah, we'll call it moot. Right, because it's a funny word to say too, moot. Or assembly works as well. Yeah. Assembly. Right. So the proposition of a museum gets added, maybe by one of you, maybe by some of the other inhabitants of the Ark, perhaps by Percival, who is one of the people working in the Dawn Vault. And after some discussing amongst the inhabitants, people generally don't really see the harm in it, and it gets decided that a museum is what you are going to build. Now, Fish is cheating with the English version, which is cheating. Shall we use Google Translate or nothing?
Yes, I have the English version in front of me as well. I'm just trying to match up some of the stuff with what you're saying with what they're actually talking about in there.
The translation isn't very good at points too, which we noticed during the short play as well. Some words they've used the same thing, like they've used the same word twice. When one of them is a skill, another one is describing a thing. It's weird. Anyway, so how do you think this museum, like, what would it look like? Would it be something taking place in the, like, because we've established that the car deck on the Ark is kind of where most of the housing on the Ark are, except for the ones on the higher up, and like those who have painted themselves as more of a higher class tend to be slightly further up. Like, for example, the Elder has her lodgings very high up on the deck, so would it be in, like, on the car deck? Would it be like part of the Dawn Vault? Would part of the Dawn Vault be shifted to have more of a, like, visiting thing as well?
That might actually be quite useful. I mean, we know the Dawn Vault itself is in the old ball pit, if I recall
But you have
correctly.
forgotten that.
Yeah, basically, as I've seen, what I've been picturing is that, it's one of those, like, glassed-in ball pits that I have. It's just a little door. Like, the door is gone, and they just kind of put a desk in front of it to block people from coming in. Maybe if, like, the switch the desk so it's on the side, you can kind
Fish is genius.
Yes.
Yes.
Duty
Duty free. It's in the duty free shop.
Yeah.
What do we do with the artifacts that are too big to fit in the glass?
Freestanding. That's what Aztecs were invented for.
At some point, someone finds
God, I worked retail for 14 years.
So just use cling film to wrap it in, and that's as protected as glass. Everyone knows that. It's see-through. It's one that works.
Have you actually ever tried to get through pallet wrap in a hurry? That's better than glass in every way.
Unless you have a knife on you at all times when working in a warehouse.
Yeah. Unless you have a decent knife on you at all times. If it's a rough knife, after about 10 minutes, you end up cutting one layer at a time.
I mean,
because that's as much as it can handle.
To be fair, working as a bartender, glass is very breakable.
Yes.
Incredibly breakable. Especially when it's in your hand. Anyway, on the hand of a person. I don't say I cut myself this weekend, but I did cut my thumb open on a broken glass.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay.
We're using the duty-free shop as our museum.
Glass, trust me on this.
I just have visions now of you in the full mixologist chemistry gear, full cyberpunk, mad scientist gear, doing the Tom Cruise bartender juggling thing,
spinning the bottles.
Yeah, with sort of foaming glasses.
No, like I did actually. It was an early mayor beaker that broke in my hand. Facing the chemist. Anyway, someone scared me. Someone came up behind me, scared me, and I broke it against the table I was currently cleaning.
I did discover that when you've been heating a flask over a Bunsen burner for an extended period of time with hot liquids in, it's a bad idea to then drop a really heavy glass mixing stick straight into it, because the whole bottom just drops out very neatly in a circle. And then you're in the position of having to shut off the now extinguished Bunsen burner before gas fills the entire chemistry lab.
That reminds me, like, of science class where, like, we were going to make nail rust, so we put, like, nails in, like, one of these vials with, like, a solution, and people were just, like, stirring them around in their hand, which meant that the nail was just slowly drilling its way through the glass until it broke. Anyway, so going back to the session, right? So there are duty-free shops on these ferries. Some more broken than others. So basically, what this will consist of is cleaning out one of these duty-free shops, kind of building some form of entrance to it to make it more. Do you think this will be a free museum or would be paid?
Free for the citizens of our Ark. If we ever encounter someone else or new people come in, definitely paying.
That's a conversation you can take when you know that there are other inhabitants of the Ark.
I have a theory. We allow them one free visit a week or a month. We pick a time period.
How about
And then they pay a bullet for each visit over and above that.
I like that. How about we do it one free visit a month, because that will increase if they actually liked it, when they want to come back before the next month, then they're kind of like, okay, I'll pay. Versus if we make it free every other week,
Yeah.
they'll be like, yeah, I can just wait a couple of days.
Yeah.
Right. The way I see this as well is that kind of like, so you hand things into the Dawn Vault, where it gets looked at, they figure out what to do with it, and then they write a plaque. And then that gets transported to the museum with the little plaque, which is probably like marker, either immediately on the glass or like on a little.
Well, no. If it's a museum, we all understand how museum labelling works. It's on a card this big, on a white wall in 2-point font, 4 feet away from the actual thing it's talking about.
I mean, definitely, some things are just like lines, someone has scribbled, because that's kind of how letters works, and not all of you can read anyway. But it looks cool. It looks good. People saw a picture of a museum once.
I assume that Mr. Moon is in charge of writing up those cards.
I'm sorry, I have clearly just triggered the latent museum curator in Fishy.
Right, but I'll take it then that perhaps Mr. Moon is... would you like to spend some time working on the museum then?
Yeah.
Mr. Moon. Right.
Museum is right up his alley.
Cool. Why don't you go ahead and roll me a comprehend then?
I'm going to comprehend everything.
I should note you can also like help each other, and you can also hinder each other in case you don't like whatever is being done.
Do you want to hinder the development of our museum?
Would anyone like to hinder? Please let me know.
I don't. What does Reimer and Goose have to say? What do Reimer and Goose have to say? Since you're not actually the same thing.
Just as a reminder for the dice, the radioactive symbol is the point to the biohazard is.
Sorry, the biohazard is ones, so those are fails.
Right, and they're the spiky ones that are outside of the circle.
Yes, that's the one that looks like 3 moons that has been smushed together.
All right, and then the other one is the radioactive symbol, which is 6s.
Which is 6s, yes.
And it's 6s that are successes, or 5s and 6s?
6s only.
Okay, 2 successes.
2 successes. Alright, would you like to press your roll? You can always press your roll. That means though any ones you've rolled, they stay. Any 6s rolled stay. And whatever... you basically get to re-roll all of the other dice. You get to roll all the dice, and all the ones you take as damage instead.
I think I'm good with 2 successes. I only got to roll 5 dice to begin with.
That's good odds. Yep.
Pretty good odds, yeah.
Yeah. Right. Oh, that means that right now the museum is down to 4 working points. Right. So, basically, you can choose to work on the museum anytime during the session, as long as you are in the Ark and not, on other things. So, basically, what we see is some mutants are sweeping the floor of this duty-free shop with homemade brooms. Some that has been found, which are like half broken off and is kind of working, but it works. As Mr. Moon and a couple of other chronicles start working on the exhibits themselves, start working on the things that are in the Dawn Vault, and making plaques for them, trying to figure out where they go, and things like that. The rest of you two, what are you two doing in this lovely day in the Ark? And how long after your last incursion is this? Like, how long since you was last out of Throne is this?
Well, hang on. Hang on. Let me just get oh, that's it. Yes. So, look, you try and pick her voice out of nowhere. It's difficult.
Quite easy, actually.
Well, you see, Swan is going to be aiding in the creation of the museum She's doing this by directing people assembling the artifacts for their best visibility and artistic display. This means
Alright.
that she is not sweeping, she is not polishing, because other people do that.
She's overseeing.
They have
She's
their
doing-
talents, she has hers.
I think Goose is helping clean the floor. You know that great way that dogs do when they sort of sit on their ass and they pull themselves forward with their paws, cleaning the floor with their legs.
Except Goose is better trained and actually scoops them in an ordered way.
Oh my god, I'm so tempted to allow you to roll a Sikkim, but it is... I mean, you know what? Yeah, roll a Sikkim using your dog comprehend. Which I imagine, which if I remember correctly, isn't that great? So it's your skill you have in Sikkim, plus your dog's, that will be...
The only thing I've got for my dog stats is Goose's strength of 3.
Oh, wait, give me a second. You can go ahead and roll a comprehend as well, Swan.
So Swan gets to roll a comprehend, Swan gets a... My god,
Yeah,
does Swan
this
actually
is-
have comprehend? Oh, no, she
So
doesn't.
what
Swan
stat am I
sucks.
rolling it on? Because I've got the Sikkim, but what stat am I giving it to?
That's the thing, you're supposed to use your dog's stat, but it doesn't actually have a sharp... What's it called? We did call it sharp. What did we call it? There's
Wits?
strength, agility, sharp.
Strength,
empathy.
agility, wits, and empathy are the stats that we've got.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be with wits, and yes, he doesn't actually have our wits because it's a dog. So just roll your Sikkim.
Just the Sikkim. Okay,
Yeah.
this is all on D6s, isn't it?
Yes.
I'm only
right.
rolling wits because I don't have comprehend as a skill.
I know.
So I've got a 6 and a 2.
A 6 and a 2. Excellent. That's a 6, so that brings it down to 3 work points left.
6-6.
Sorry?
6-6. 2 6s.
6s. Excellent. I don't know how you do it, but I am
Ah.
mad.
Drat is telekinetic, we're sure of this. Unconsciously so, or subconsciously so, or...
Right. So, all of you are working with some better than others. Swan is doing an excellent job, actually, trying to direct people where to go. Among the people sweeping, there are like Crow is definitely helping as well. One of the bosses in the one of the bosses of the Ark, who is known to be very down to earth and hardworking. They're also very much helping bring this party to life.
What's the name of the boss we were working for previously? The one who holes up in the bar.
Her name is Alona.
Yeah, I bet she's not helping.
No, oh no.
Okay.
But Crow is helping. To describe Crow, they're 5'10", very gender ambiguous, but they're very muscly and they have this hard, thick skin that is kind of an unnatural color. And they also have the ability to climb on walls, which is an ability that they use often to kind of help build things as well, like carrying ropes up to help straighten things like that. People follow them mainly because like they haven't really set themselves out to be a leader. They're just kind of, all right, let's do this, and people have decided to follow them because of that.
I'm going to make sure that Swan will absolutely ask Crow's opinion whenever they're in the vicinity, just to make sure that Crow knows who Swan is and can admire her judgment.
Yeah, Crow holds conversation with you and things and debates. They're not super much, like they don't really like they understand the importance of the aesthetic things, but they're not really their forte, and they'll say that as well. But they take your opinion to heart, and when you tell them something, they ask someone else to do it, or they do it themselves. So yeah, at the end of it, Crow is nodding along and seems to be happy of your contribution as well. Meanwhile, there is a dog rubbing their bum on all over the floor. Right.
Sorry, I'm just reading chat.
So we literally have only one work point left, or is that taken care of by Crow?
No, there is one work point left. NPCs just don't like NPC and the people in the arc don't really help with the work point because they're already working on it. That's how, like the three of you can't build something by yourself.
Right.
But
We've come pretty darn close.
Yeah.
Pretty close. And I think you can only work on it once per session too. Otherwise, I don't. Like, otherwise, you would just sit here keep rolling dice. So I'm gonna say that's the work you're doing with the museum for now, and just keep working on it. But the museum's on the well. Wait, people are working on it. People seem kind of excited to have it get done. Right. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna add my auto pistol to our cache of artifacts.
Fantastic. Right. So you take the gun, the automatic
And I
pistol.
take my bullets out of it.
You're not going to give them a loaded gun then?
I only got 5 bullets. This seems unfair.
And you enter the play area. The children's area of the ferry that are very brightly colored. But the color has mostly faded since then, but it's still far brighter than anything else anywhere on this.
Mm-hmm.
And everywhere you see the kind stickers of Skipper Martin the Martin, which is incredibly hard to pronounce fast, stand and tell you.
Wasn't thinking about a Swedish accent filtering that one. Because it's actually really easy with an English accent.
Yes, but I don't know. Double words just screw me over too. It might not even be a Felix thing. It could just be a Felix thing, if I'm being honest. But right, telling you to play nice, telling you that the proper skippers play by the rules. You walk through the brightly colored children's room. There are some, like, as the rest of the curriculum, it's kind of in a constant state of disrepair. There are always the debris left on the floor. Like, even if people try to clean it up, there's a lot of things aren't whole on the arc, and it probably never will be. There's a couple places as well where there are like the whole of the ship has corroded through, and people have tried to like plaster it over with whatever they can find, fabric, posters, pieces of tarp or whatever. But you follow through into the play area, into the children's area, and at deep within it, you come upon the Dawn Vault, the glassed-in ball pit, and by the desk at the front sits Percival, who is the mutant who generally tends to frequent the Dawn Vault. Like he's not the only one working here, but he's the person working here the most, because he seems to enjoy it. And he kind of greets you as you come up and put the gun on the desk. Right. Why don't you roll me a T6, please?
I thought we were going to have Drut do it.
No.
I'm staying away unless I actually have to roll anything.
3.
3, alright. That brings your technology up to an 8, which is not enough to cross into the next category. They go from 0 to 9, but you're almost there. And as well as you get 1 in defense, as Percival kind of takes this ring, accidentally pulls the trigger, and kind of jumps a bit, and then files it away, along with other things.
So, when you say defense, that's warfare, right? Or is defense just... Okay.
Warfare and defense is the same thing. The English calls it warfare, I think. The Swedish one calls it defense. But that's alright. Which is why I'll use those interchangeably. Keep up! We're using two words for the same thing. Keep up!
Look, I'll just learn Swedish in the next couple of weeks, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll just slowly progress into just speaking Swedish during the sessions, and you'll just have to keep up.
And then everyone that's watching the stream will also learn Swedish with us.
Yeah.
So your försvar goes up by 1. It's so hard using Swedish words in the middle of an English sentence. You don't understand. Anyway, carrying on. And the rest of you two, how are you spending your arc days?
How am I spending my Ark days? I am spending some of them patrolling outside the Ark, but not going into the zone.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Just kind of checking for tracks or anything like that. Yeah.
Tracks, people who died that won't therefore be using their personal belongings.
You know what? Roll me 1d6 of. Just roll 1d6. You're gonna roll a 6. I don't know why I'm asking, but roll one.
I might not. I've got a 1 in 6 chance of rolling a 6. Come on, get over it.
Tell me what it is.
Oh shit. Okay, fine.
6, isn't it?
You get 6 bullets. As you over the course of a couple of days, you find 1 or 2 swords, poor swords who don't appear to be using the bullets anymore. Some of them are splashed on the concrete, and some of them appear to have been otherwise disposed of. Well, when you recognize.
So
In
was
that
was that 6 bullets I get?
Yes, because I assume you rolled a 6.
I did. Sorry.
Right.
I'm not telling you how many I got.
Which I'm really happy because that actually puts me up to double figures.
Right. Rayma, how are you spending your Ark days?
Having had a taste of the zone, staying safely within the bounds of the Ark, but looking at it, trying to understand it from a distance and work out when we might be next going.
All right. I take it that then perhaps you spend some time in the Stalker room. Like, I've always pictured this as maybe some form of like storage closet close by to the car deck, so very close to like the exit out into the zone, where they have like a larger map of the zone set up, which is one of the map available on the stream at the moment, right underneath Skipper Martin.
Hang on. Let me hide Skipper Martin.
Yeah. This is the Swedish one, not because the other one, the hand-drawn one, is specifically Swartz.
Yeah, that's fine.
Presumably in her pocket. But yes, this map was found out in the zone like several years ago and has been set up and has since, like, none of you have properly jetted out, but it has a stable place here where you can kind of see what maybe the zone has to hold. You haven't been able to decode all of the messages that are scrawled upon it, but you are welcome to scroll upon it shall you wish, and that's something we can actually do via Photoshop or whatever if we like later.
Okay.
There are, so far you've only explored 2 zones. Looking at this map, Rayma, what are your thoughts? Where would you like to go? What are you thinking? I can send it again.
Where would you like to
The
go
areas that
today?
we've been to, we didn't spend a lot of time scouting, so I'll be looking at the bits that we've already been to, and just to see what's changed in the time since, see what's moving,
Right.
if anything at all.
Does this mean that you are actually going out into the zone? And are you doing so by yourself?
Purely from the boundaries of the ship, of the Ark, just looking to see what I can see without getting into the zone,
You
if anything is moving.
don't really see much, unfortunately. The entire zone is generally clouded in a zone smog, which makes it very hard to see distances further than your sector, unfortunately. I should mention, though, that the zones you have been in, you have technically discovered, and generally once you have, because in the way you move through zones, following your 2 zone stalkers in the previous short play, they count as discovered. So generally there aren't much more. Of course, there can always be new things appearing, like you mentioned, people walking through there if there is any, or monsters going closer and stuff like that. But you spend some time nonetheless just looking out into the zone. Yeah. Does any of you have any plans or any other things that you wish to enact?
Nothing.
I mean, we should have a team meeting.
If you would like to gather up your fellow explorers, you're welcome to do so.
Now there's a question. Is Goose wearing his suit yet? You said you
one
needed
debate
a
in the end.
project. We need
I
a
don't know.
project.
I don't know if we've actually set up a textiles room yet.
I will say, no, actually, there has been one person who, with the suit having been turned in, has started kind of one of the previous chronicler who used to work in the Dawn. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Has started working. That used to work in the Dawn Vault has kind of taken a step back and become very fascinated with this suit, this piece of clothing, and has been turning it inside out as much as possible without destroying it. And now are kind of has started looking through your clothing and looking through clothing as well to see if there are better ways to construct them. They haven't made a suit for the dog yet, but the possibility is there in the future, in the nearby future. Martin the Martin's Museum of Marvels.
I like it.
Yes. The new museum you're currently working on is now called Martin and Martin's Museum of Marvels, because screw my ability to pronounce anything in this game. Who can?
Oh, you're going to have trouble with 2. You may as well have trouble with 4.
I'm just gonna say, you go to the museum, and I'm going to have a blank and wait for you to say it for me. So what is the museum called?
Martin the Martin's Museum of Marvels.
Excellent. We're gonna practice that. I'm gonna keep that up because I'm
And if not, if you were going to end with drop your evil, then yes, you've met me.
So,
right. Oh, okay. So yeah, is that something that you'd like to do in that case, Mr. Moon?
yeah, I was thinking. I don't know that there are. It's probably old. Does the ferry actually have any? I can't remember what they're called. Lifeboats. That are still intact that we can use to cross the river to the other side and check out the north.
Interesting. I don't think it has, unfortunately. It probably has like 1 or 2 lifeboats that are still intact-ish, but it's not seaworthy at the moment. That will require some work. Like some of the things have been torn and stuff like that.
Used for other things other than boating.
Potentially as well, yeah. Parts of some boats have probably been torn up and used for like topping to cover up some of the holes in the well. As soon as people figured out they were waterproof, they started being used for other things as well. Come to think of it, also part of the since in the lower parts of the ship you had like a filtration system to pull up water from the river and filter it. Part of that system as well is probably used with lifeboats as well.
Mm-hmm.
And if nothing else, the pipe going back is probably sealed over them. So not at the moment.
So when we went and explored last time, we went south and then east.
Yes, I remember. I think so. You explored zone number. Let's see. It's what 8, 18, Hugo 18, and Indigo 19. You are currently in. Why can't I remember? Golf. You're currently in Golf 18. Is where the arc is settled.
Okay. Apparently, we need a harbour before we can build ships. By the way. Okay.
That does kind of make sense.
That being said, ships are like for trading and stuff like that. Just making one boat to carry 3 mutants and a dog across, slightly less of a project.
I love the idea. We could just nail Mr. Moon to a log.
Yeah, and you can use his 2 arms.
Yes.
Maybe we should describe our characters, by the way, since this is technically the first session. I realized. Mr. Moon, show with Shard. Shard, could you describe what Mr. Moon, what horrible abomination Mr. Moon is?
Mr. Moon stands fairly tall. You know, not too tall, but about 6'3". Um, he's
With
got
the
really
subtle-
sharp inset eyes, and his tan skin is kind of blotchy in places. But his normal clothing is a duster, a bowler hat, and a jersey. And his pants are, cut off, but they've got like the football knee. Can't think of the
Knee
word
pads?
for like, yeah,
Oh my god, he's got
style,
knee
man.
pads. He's from 2000 AD. He's
Um,
a Mega City 1 sit. Does he
one
think
of
his
his
knee pads talk to him?
one of his mutations does cause a physical deformity of sorts. He's got 4 arms. 2 of them are a mustache, and they aren't very strong arms that he can climb with. And apparently it's canon that when he's sleeping, they crawl away to do their own thing and crawl back onto his face to reattach.
I would like to point out, I don't think they leave their body because the implications of that would be far too huge. But I think we have established in canon that the length of them,
They lengthen and they do move.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like scrunched up right underneath like the upper lip part, and then it's just 2 very incredibly strong arms that can kind of extend out and maybe slightly like a starfish move around.
I just
So
had
we
this
don't-
horrible, disturbing image. The problem is, of course, we know that they are rooted in the face,
Yes.
and so can walk like they're wading through
Walking
mud.
underneath the skin.
Yeah. The thing is, when he sleeps on his side, obviously you don't want one getting crushed. So when he turns over, one of them just scurries across under his nose
That's not the
to hang out with the other
Very
side.
helmet-like any other
Yeah.
flatfish. It's just like,
Yep.
Yeah, it's like yes. Oh god.
oh,
yeah.
that's gonna be terrible watching him sleep when he's dreaming.
I'm going to have nightmares now. Thank you.
Sorry.
He probably moves in his sleep too, so if anyone's watching him sleep, the hands are like doing things and talking to themselves.
Playing rock paper scissors with each other.
Yes!
Lily's all set up. One's holding the paints, the other one's holding the brush.
Anyway, moving on from that abomination. Knight, why don't you describe Raymer and Goose for us, please? I'll recover.
So Reimer's a fairly kind of wiry dude. Picked up a few scars along the way, possibly from Goose playing just a little too hard. Wears fairly functional coveralls, jacket, heavy boots, and a hoodie. And Goose, who's the real star of the pairing,
Can't argue.
everyone's nodding.
Yeah.
Is a smallish crossbreed, possibly. Oh god, I don't know dog breeds that well.
To be fair, it probably doesn't matter at
A
this
bunch
point.
of other breeds as well, and he's trained more as a sort of sniff it out and track it kind of dog rather than a fighting dog.
That being
Not
said,
that stops her from fighting at all, because Goose can really get stuck in.
that being said, the dog has been shown to almost tear out arteries of people.
Yes.
Yes. I think whatever Goose is, there's a chunk of, probably bulldog kicking around in there somewhere.
To be fair, we're so far into the apocalypse. There's probably a lot of things kicking around in that dog.
I thought Goose was a Chihuahua.
Oh, what, for the viciousness? Yeah, that would
Yeah.
do it.
Probably like a top way there.
Jack Russell, therefore jumping. Yeah.
There's definitely some Jack Russell in there.
Yes. Yeah.
Amazing. Right. Moving on to Drat. Why don't you?
You see, I look
describe-
normal. You see, the thing is, Swan looks completely normal and almost entirely harmless. The problem is, because, you see, Swan is, well, she's not a bad-looking mutant. She's a little bit on the skinny side, and she doesn't have a lot on the upper body strength, or indeed lower body strength. Well, let's face it, she doesn't have a lot in the way of muscle at all. But never mind. She dresses to mask that. She tends to wander around in army fatigues. Well, in fatigues. and she's got a very nifty red cloak, and that's definitely not because I created her after playing Shardlight. So she has a red cloak with a hood, and she wears big army boots. And is convinced that she is descended from the noble class. That's what she assumes officers were on this ferry.
Fantastic.
But the only time that she really looks a little bit unusual is if she's actually making use of her mutant abilities, because then she's got extra nostrils. And her nose sort of flares out like a little umbrella at the side. It's ever so endearing in many ways, but she can use it to spew spores at people and sniff out rot.
I love the group of mutants we have. Right. Yeah. So I also actually that makes me think. When it comes to Swan, has she tried to claim a cabin on the higher decks then?
Now, at the moment, Swan is living in a pink VW Beetle on the car deck.
Right.
Which she has secured as best she can, largely by threatening the life of anyone who goes near it.
And I think most people now knows that even though Swan is incredibly kind, you will never see her unkind until you have a bullet in your head.
Yes, she has absolutely no living enemies.
Yep. Exactly. Yes, Knight, actually, would you like to mention your mutation?
Hidden under the overalls and the hoodie, Reimer has a slightly reptilian look to him, which would allow him, if he were to ever strip down, to be somewhat obfuscated and camouflaged with the scenery.
Yeah.
And that would be his more visible mutation. Not that he's indicated to others that he may have another more offensive mutation similar to the reptilian effect, using his ability to influence people by the power of the mind at all.
Oh,
no.
God, yes.
Yeah.
But he does have a wonderful persuasive mood to him when he needs to.
I had forgot.
Everyone just likes Rayma. It's super weird. Like no one, yeah. Everyone's great fans of Rayma.
Yeah. He's horrible and mind controlling and weird and you know.
And such a nice guy.
Such a nice guy, and his dog's terrifying, and everybody loves him.
Yeah, super weird.
That's part of why the dogs love him.
Yeah. Ooh. Anyway, right. So, you've gathered everyone to a meeting. To a conversation, to a cup of coffee. I don't know. We have an excellent Swedish term. Your characters are not Swedish, but where we just it's an important social thing. Anyway, so perhaps in your den, or like in your den / clinic.
Is that the sort of the coffee and cake thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's incredibly important. You need to have, like, as the British have their tea time. We are
a highly cultured arc. Of course we have tea time.
Yes, definitely. Tea time is an established thing. So maybe a tea time. I assuming your clinic / den, since Mr. Moon is also...
Wouldn't want to do it in the clinic. Would definitely do it in the den.
Fair enough. Yeah.
It's what would it be? I'm trying to think of a really. It's an ambulance.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
One of the larger ambulances with all of the like.
I'm trying to decide why an ambulance would be on a cruise ship, but I'm kind of willing to just let that. Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's an ambulance.
Why not?
I'm just
The
thinking
world is
transit
ending. They're
van.
trying to run away.
Yeah, sure. It's a British ambulance. I wonder. Yeah.
It's all about the realism here, okay?
I think it's a British ambulance as well.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, this did come from British land.
Yeah,
That's what it was called.
British land, Britannia.
So yeah, the bed actually is easy to turn into a table, which I do, and then there's those seats along the side, which we actually used to sit on.
Right.
Why are you shaking your head, Trent?
I'm not. I'm just... Oh, dear. It's fine. It's all fine.
Right. Yeah, so you're all gathered.
So, I was thinking it would be a good idea to explore along the river, across the river, but we'd need to get boats first. And I'm not sure how we're going to do that without finding more things.
Well, I suppose that leads us a fairly obvious solution, which is to go outside, find people or things with more things, take it away from them.
That's what I was thinking.
It's really time.
We've already
They don't know how to make a boat.
What?
They don't know how to make a boat. We could go and look for anything, but if we don't know what we're looking for, we're going to get the wrong thing.
This was a boat at one time. I've seen pictures. I know what they basically look like.
Right.
I pull out my notebook, flip back like a couple hundred pages. So this is what a boat looks like, and it's probably a ripped out piece of one of the Huckleberry Finn novels of the Raft,
Yep.
which has been sewn into the page.
Well,
yeah.
it was going to be that or Swallows and Amazons, to be fair.
To be fair, like there are probably like old brochures on this ship as well. It has like the ferry in water.
Oh my god, it's going to have a cartoon boat with Skipper Martin standing at the front, and it'll be one of those situations where he's the same size as the whole rest of the boat.
Skipper Martin the Martin for the best NPC so far in this campaign.
Yep, absolutely.
We're actually going to meet this guy. He's going to turn out to be a real mutant.
Yes.
Oh no, I
That would
need
be a
to
brilliant-
buy Dunlop Alpha now.
Yes,
Just
you do.
create animal mutants.
Yes. Yes, please make it.
Anyway, if we're going to find boats, they're going to typically be along waterways. If we go downriver, we might find some old ruins that contain places where they stored various kinds of boats. And then we can bring those back. On the plus side, if we find one that's... Huh?
Rather than make a boat, we find a boat.
Yes.
Easier, right? Yeah.
Finding a boat would be a lot easier than making them. Also, once we've found one that's functional and bring it back, then our art can start learning how to make them.
All right.
And
that seems
there was a
reasonable.
story that I read, something about, I think the word was pirates.
Pants of
And-
the Sarabian.
Yeah, you're not there.
Who am I? You don't know who I am. I'm everyone.
But having access to the waterways would give us a much broader range when we go off to explore things.
That makes
So
sense.
that's what I was thinking would be a good idea, would be to follow the coast and see if we can't find such items.
Okay. Right. Well, that sounds like a reasonable plan, I suppose. You reckon Mister has a copy of Swallows and Amazons somewhere? Yeah, quite possibly. Oh, brilliant. Maybe the Ark will be infiltrated by a mutant capable of projecting images into people's minds, and he'll use Martin as a front Martin, in his attempt to take over the Ark. Oh, that's evil. I like
Isn't
that.
the fact that
I
everyone
don't like you giving our GM ideas when you're not playing in the game anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't have. He's no longer endangering himself. He's just putting us all at risk.
it is
Good
as
to
well
know.
as the fact that every mutant in the Ark respects Skipper Martin the Martin as like an authority figure. Because
Respects
obviously, if he's
fears.
painting everywhere, he must have been important, right? I mean, there's no other reason why someone would paint a little critter with helpful advice, like without some.
Well,
like,
whoever painted this, they had knowledge of the future, because otherwise, how would they know to paint a humanoid Pine Martin? Because clearly they knew that those mutations would spring up at some point. These were warnings from the past.
they knew that the human race was doomed, and so they created this god figure that were
Yep.
meant to take over in his place. I love
I think-
Mutant so much.
I think we're going to end up finding a mascot costume that looks similar, that is a pine marten, and Raymer's going to wear it because he's so convincing and everyone likes him.
No. That's what we put Goose in.
Goose. It's
It'd
a
be
dog
like
outfit.
it would be one of those little ones where they just put it on their 4 legs and have like a headpiece. So it looks for all the world when they're walking towards you like they're wearing a little sailor suit or something.
I can't wait for the enemies to be killed by Skip Martin and Martin.
Anyone have the Bible of this world, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Other Strangeness?
Tonårs mutant ninja sköldpaddor, yeah, man. It's much more awkward in Swedish. The theme song is a delight in Sweden, by the way. They tried so hard to come in words that are too long, far too long in Swedish, and it's
Yeah.
it's a joy.
I didn't realise Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a comic when I was a kid, but yeah. I watched
Anyway.
the cartoon first and then found out it was a really, really hardcore comic, and it was, all right then. Fine. Ultra violence. And an RPG.
We'll be back in game again.
Yeah, and we're back in the game. After planning to dress up the dog
So
in a sailor suit. God help us.
we need to figure out how many days journey we want to go because we're going to need that much grub and water.
Yeah.
Well, if we're staying close to the river, is the river fairly clean or does it need to be filtered?
It's like everything else in the zone. It is rot. It is
All the rot. And our rot eater is no longer with us.
The rot eater is no longer with you, however, I can sniff out rot. So,
Doesn't help if you drink it.
Yeah.
No, but I can at least say, that's rotten.
And
Yeah,
we
you
can't
cannot look out the window and say, "That's rotten."
and we can't boil it out either, can we?
I think the process to make water rot free is more complicated than that. I'll look that up. You carry on in the meantime.
Okay.
New brooder.
God.
Oh no, that would require that Goose actually takes on mutations himself and then becomes self-aware.
So
Oh, good lord! Now you're terrifying me.
are you implying Goose isn't self-aware?
I mean,
Sorry, I'm not getting it, I'm sorry. Does not compute ever 404. Goose is clearly self-aware.
Well, Goose is the
okay,
brain.
fine, self-aware and can talk and speak with us as someone that's not just a part of someone else.
Hang on, are you implying there was a symbiotic relationship? Is
We
the
brought this up
lead
when we started the game.
Is
I'm
the
totally
lead-
sure there's a symbiotic relationship.
that Reimer always keeps Goose on, in fact, sinews running from Reimer's hand
No,
straight
it's
down into
Goose is
Goose's
actually the
nervous system.
mutant.
Yeah, it's actually...
they were born twins. Remember, I brought up that they were born twins. They're actually siblings.
Reimer was clearly the trained animal here. Goose is actually the mutant. Every now and then, Goose takes a host. Oh my god.
Yes, from what I can tell, because rot it's not as simple as sickness or radiation. It's some form of you don't know what it is. It's a terrible, terrible thing. And there are, however, ways to find rot-free water in the zone, and there are ways to clean it out, but it's not so simple as boiling it.
Right.
I think there are skills you can take that allows you to make water rot-free. I think it's a Sunstock thing, but I'll have to look that up. But yes.
So we're gonna have to plan out how long we're gonna go into the zone and have enough to get back and carry whatever we're bringing back with us.
Yeah. Yep.
Man, it would really be nice to have carts that we could just drag with us.
Could we do that? We've got wheels, because we've got what's on the cargo deck.
Oh, the same thing that we
the car
brought.
deck, even.
Didn't we
was it that was-
option something to
Yeah.
bring wounded person back. That
Yeah, we did.
Yes.
Yeah, with access to
It's a
know,
very simple
tools
one and just large enough for a
Yeah.
person. But yes, there's where you could carry slightly more things.
Yeah.
I would say that it will slow you down. It didn't matter so much since you were just walking back the same way you came. It didn't matter too much, but like there could be certain ways where and there were certain ways on the way back where you had to like pick up the
Right.
basically wheelbarrow you fashioned out of old office chairs.
Yeah.
And lift it across places. So it's definitely doable. Not sure if it will necessarily be easier as a way to bring Crub with you, since it would slow you down.
So would being encumbered.
Yes.
Doing it this way, if we get into trouble, we can immediately drop it and be free versus having it on our backpacks or person.
I think I would basically call it. I think I would count it as an encumbrance actually, and do just, but with an easy out.
Right.
Yeah.
So you guys want to do that? See if we can get supplies for a longer mission this time. We do have to consider how much rot potential we have while we're out there as well. Because the longer we're in the zone, the more chance of us getting corrupted. Correct?
For yourself.
That sounds bad. We don't want to get corrupted.
No. You'd have to go and have a chat with Gemmel. I'm not quite sure how he could extract the rot from a corrupted person. But I'm reasonably sure it probably involves a group hug. So... okay, so how much food do we have? I mean, I've got 6 grub and 10 water, so that's not terrible. Do we get... I've got more bullets than I thought I did. Cool.
Because you roll like a god. You win through this.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, it's alright. I had my bullets listed in 2 different places. Yeah, on the character sheet, I got weird. It's alright. Sorted. I thought I had more than that. I was just having a... What? Okay, so how many days do we want to be out? This is me... This is me using my stalkery senses. My know the zone, probably. I reckon.
Felix, doesn't it take basically a day for each zone, or how does that work?
4 hours, if you
4
properly...
hours. And,
Okay.
okay, so let's go to Swan's map, which she will show. Because that gives us a better idea of where we actually are.
I love that you've got a slightly different version of the map as an in-character thing. That's quite cool.
It is kind of
I
funky.
do that in Paint.
It is kind of cool. I like it. Right, so we
Basically,
want to be...
like one putting it down on top of the other one and drawing, like following. Basically what I did.
You know, it occurs to me, if we explore downriver, that's going to get wider and wider before it hits the sea. If we explore upriver, like directly up...
We'd have to cross the stream north of us.
Yeah, but we wouldn't have to cross anything huge, because we could go east and then north. And that's only small. Or we could just follow the river downwards. Just follow the waterway down.
In terms of the map, I'm pretty sure it's still at least like 100 feet across.
Yeah. In which case, yeah, we could follow the stream south. Instead of going for the one to the sea, we could follow the one that starts, 2 squares south of the Arc.
Is that a stream or is that a road?
It's blue. That's as far as I'm taking it.
because it doesn't look like it has outlets. It looks like it goes to.
Depends on the scale of the map. It could get really, really narrow up towards one
Yeah.
other.
But yeah, that goes through quite a lot of squares, to be honest. So it's quite
Thing
long.
is
And leads to a lake.
I don't see where it leads to a lake.
Eastern side. Four squares down and 3 squares right. Big blue bit.
Okay, I see the line that you're talking about potentially leading to the lake. I didn't see that.
Yeah. Basically, where the red block is the
That's the arc.
that's the arc.
Hey, Felix, can you share the one that you didn't paint again on Discord? Because I'm using the picture you took of the actual map on Discord.
I mean, the actual map is slightly more correct since the other one is an estimation.
Right, and an estimation would be better while I'm talking to everyone that's using the estimation because we don't actually know what's down there.
I'm looking at it. I'm looking for it at the moment. I'm trying
You're
to.
done?
Where I put it? I put it in a good place. Do you have it easily available? Then you can post it in Discord otherwise.
If you post it in Discord, then yes.
Oh, what did I name it?
I don't know.
I named it like Mutant map. It's not that. There we go. It's called Mutant Copy Soccer Map. Because that's a good name for a map.
Of course it is.
I see what you're looking at then.
I'm glad you do. Hang on a
And
minute.
red is us.
There it is. Yeah, that's my map. Yes.
Yeah.
So the first 2 legs of that journey, we've already explored those 2.
Yeah.
Going
so
that way.
We can pretty much head south. Really quickly.
Did we see a river when we went down there?
No.
Well, it's not my fault. Somebody got drunk and put some blue biro on.
We know that there's a river here. I'd rather follow that because obviously boat this size came up it, and we know there's water here. If we go hunting south for a lake, we'd have to carry whatever boat we found back if we found one, versus going along the waterway.
Mr. Moon is just such a traditionalist. Okay.
Thing is, the arc came up that river.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big river. We're looking for a small boat.
Yeah.
Anything small size on that big river is going to have been crunched up, used up, and blown up.
Busy
We want to
week.
go up the North River. It's smaller.
Yeah. And if that's a road or something to the east of the arc, then we can just cross that and head north.
Yeah, that's fine. We can go that direction first.
And that gives
That
us...
thing with the number 9 on your map, or is that not on? Is that not on the drop map?
Hang on. Well, this is the drop map, so
This
as
is
far
the drop
as I
map,
know,
so-
this is the map that...
So looking in D20, what's that thing there?
D20 is... It says tracks. That's where we were following... What's his face, I would assume.
No. Up from that.
Oh,
Third
hang
box
on. No,
down.
D20. Well, it says 89.
Oh, is that 89?
Well, that's what it looks like to me. It could be stick figures. It
I
could
thought it was a stick person and a 9.
It could be. Could be.
There could be 9 bods there wanting to job us.
That's a very personal thing to say, but could be. Worth a look. It's a feature. It's a thing we could look at, and it's right next to the river.
I'm posting the zone map that you have in the Stalker room in Discord as well.
Yeah.
Since Waymore has been spending some time looking at that one as well. And has
Okay.
It's bigger, because your
Yeah.
map is part of it.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, that's the one that I've been looking at the whole time because I found it further up in the year 0.
Yeah, could you see that one?
Zonga Star? Possibly? Still not 100% clear what that is. Slightly disturbing.
It's, once again, on the other map, it's one that just says evil sudden death. No one doesn't have any of those.
River, then. Okay. Okay, so never mind the 89 of sudden death. We can just head straight up the river.
You know, looking at the bigger map, what on the Swan map looks like a road,
Yeah,
on the bigger map actually looks like another river, because that then leads to a lake further east.
does. Why do you want to try that then? Because that saves us trying to cross a river to get to a river.
Which, by the time we get to the river, we go, hang on, this isn't a road, it's a river.
Yeah, and it's one one they can see straight from the arc because it's right next to us.
Yeah, I don't mind following the river going east instead of going south. It's just we'll have to do that eventually anyway at some point.
Yeah. Okay, let's go east then. Go east.
Right. So you begin gathering your supplies. You begin to plan an expedition. Is there anything specific you're bringing? Is there anyone you may be mentioning this to, or anyone you're saying your final goodbyes to in case you would never come back? Or anything like those, along those lines. Is there any preparations you're doing?
That's a lot of complicated questions going on there.
It is. Pick up the stuff. Let my neighbours know that if anyone moves in on my digs, I will set goose on them when we get back.
Subtle.
They're fully aware. Oh, you found like, oh, you know what? I think what you have is one of those small signs you put in the back of the car window that says "Beware of the dog." I have one of those in your den.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's kind of half melted at one point, but you can still read "Beware the dog."
Beware.
Or like "Dog on board" or something like that.
Yeah.
No, I take most of what I own with me
Okay.
because I don't need to leave anything behind. I don't really carry a whole lot.
No?
A notebook, a pen, some grub and water. I no longer have an auto pistol. I've got plenty of bullets to share if necessary.
Yep.
I'm not going to leave those behind for people to find.
Nope. Those bullets are things you want to keep because it's both the currency and things you use to kill people with.
Yes.
Yep.
Double whammy, as we call it. Righto. So you do.
I should probably, I guess I should get a club or something like that. I mean, last time I was very much, what kind of items are there that would help me be a better bard? Because my best skill is inspire in a combat. That's what I use the entire time.
I don't think there would be much for you to find, like at the market in the Ark at the moment. Let me take a little, a wee bit of a peek.
Market at the Arket.
Market at the Arket, yeah. The Arket market.
Okay.
Where are my things? In general, I'd say no, but there are weapons for you to get. If you'd like just to get a backup, or for intimidation or whatever. There are things like axes, spears, baseball bats with nails in them, and as well as bow and arrow, pistols, and things like that.
And all of these things require either strength or agility, right?
Yes. I mean, all of them require you to shoot or to fight, which are the two abilities that goes under. But it's in case you want to be prepared. Otherwise,
I'll buy a spear because it's long and I can use it to poke things from a distance
a
for
good
like
shot.
traps and such.
A good shout. Yes, definitely. And you could also always use them. Like I could potentially add a modifier if you want to use your spear in an intimidating manner. I would be tempted to give you let you use the spear's bonus for your roll as well.
Okay.
Fair enough.
A great way for that. What would a spear cost? Where are my costs? I know I have a cost somewhere. Here we go. Found it. Right. Yeah, because here's a couple of other things that you could buy as well. You could buy things like lanterns and other things, but an axe, spear would cost you, I'd say, yeah, I'd say two bullets.
2 bullets?
Yeah.
Alright, I have a spear now.
Cool.
Okay.
It will give you. Why do I keep losing my pages? I should hold. Yeah. It's a +1 weapon. It does 2 damages. Two points of damage. It has the range close, and it's counted as do-it-yourself build. So it can be built by gearheads,
Yeah.
basically. Yes. All right.
Yeah, I don't think we need a lantern. We did pretty well without fire or light.
It costs you 1 entire slot, I should mention.
Okay.
Okay.
On your sheet.
Yes, we'll be fine without light. In the darkness, with only... Actually, we've got Goose. No, fuck it, we're fine.
Right.
You're putting a lot of pressure on Goose here.
I am putting a lot of pressure on Goose, yes. That's because I
Unless
trust
one of you guys wants to
Goose.
get a lantern, I can only carry so much.
We've got a cart.
I've got big buff face hands, but I can only carry so much because I'm not that strong.
No, well, Swan's a wimp, but what I was thinking is that anything we're not using actually at the time, of course, can go on the cart.
Oh, so we are still going to use the cart idea? Okay.
Yep, we're going to use the cart. We're going to use
Okay.
the cart. I think that makes sense.
Sure. I'll say the cart has 2 slots. I'd say human counts as like a large thing, so that would
Yeah.
be 2 slots. And it's like it was built for to carry a human and not much more.
It was, yeah, but that's fine.
So
Yeah,
it has. You basically have 2 extra slots, but you're encumbered.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Other things you can buy. I'm just gonna mention some in case. You can buy things like shovels, blankets, a tent,
Okay.
things for cooking.
I may possibly be creating an artwork of a slightly corrupted image of Martin the Martin at this stage, so I'm multitasking. But I'm paying attention, don't worry.
Rope, torches. Torches are only a half. No wait. Yeah. Torches are only a quarter of slot.
Okay, how much is a torch, and how many do torches get under a...
You can get a torch for. You can get 2 torches for 1 bullet.
Okay.
And it burns for 4 hours.
Right, okay. What about fire lighting gear?
You can get what's it called?
Flint and steel.
Flint
Yeah.
and steel? Yep.
Yeah, basically for a tinderbox is the English word I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
For 1 bullet as well, and it also takes up a quarter of a slot.
Okay.
And a tent.
A tent costs. I'm going to say it says 3 to 6. I'm going to say that it's in the higher amount because since your arc is still not really that well off at the moment, so everything is slightly more expensive for you guys. So I'd say it's a 5.
And it's big enough for, at least 4 people, given that the dog would want to be in the tent too, necessarily. If
Yeah.
it's raining or whatnot.
Yeah, I'd say it's enough for 4 people. Yeah.
And you said 5?
Yes, and it costs you 2 to carry. So if you take that, that'll take up your entire sled.
Yikes.
Hang on, what will take up the entire... What, a tent?
Yeah.
It takes up 2, if we were to get a tent, it takes up 2 slots of encumbrance. We need some stronger people, yo.
What's the weather actually like?
Right now, the weather lately has been all right. I think we said it was Spring?
Spring? I think it was spring.
Yeah. So, like, there was rain every now and then. And the weather's always unpredictable because you're in the zone. And the weather is mucked up compared to our world. Then again, I mean, the places you're going to are mainly ruins, so there's, like, from your experience as Zone Stalker, there are
Yeah.
ways to find shelter as well.
Yeah, you see, this is it. Swan's really not that fussed about bringing a shelter with them because there's
That's
a
fine.
reasonable chance we can find, or she can find, shelter for us.
I'm perfectly okay with that.
Yep.
Right.
I don't think we really need cooking gear unless we're gonna cook what we find out there because we've already got the grub.
We shouldn't, because we should be taking grub with us, which is less likely to have rock contamination.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
like the less likely rather than just wouldn't be.
Well, I don't trust the system.
Hey, our tech is getting up there. We probably got some of the cleanest water that you've ever seen.
The water is clean. The water is the cleanest you have ever seen. Period. Because the only other water you have to compare with is the river, so this is the cleanest water you've ever seen. Yeah. See, I mean, your world is small. Everything is so much greater and worse at the same time.
Great.
So what else would you want to bring along then? Because we've got the torches, we've got the flint and steel.
Mm. Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay, we've got light, we've got means to make fire. That's going to scare away a lot of what's in the zone that wants to eat us.
Yep.
So that's a good start.
I think we've only got 3/4 of a slot left on the sled.
Yeah. So, how much food are we actually taking?
I'm taking all of mine. I've got 3 grub and 4 water left.
Okay. So that's only 3 days worth, so that's a bit of a thing.
Yeah, I've only got 2 water on me. I'm okay for food. I've got 5 food.
Yeah. Okay, okay, fair enough. Swan can bring up to 10 water to the party, basically.
Okay. Do you have how much? Okay, let's do the math to see how much grub and water we have total between us. So.
Yeah. Hang on a sec. Let's
See,
concatenate this down.
3 and 4 for me, and then Knight. You said how much grub do you have?
5 food. Grub.
And 2 water.
I've
And how much?
I've got 6 grub and 10 water.
Holy shit!
You're sorted for water.
So Zone Stalker then.
So we've got 16 water and I can't math. 8 plus 6 is 14. 14 grub.
Yeah, basically.
That's almost 5 days altogether.
That's assuming we find nothing else.
Yeah. Not to mention, if we do find anything important and whatnot, or even extra bullets, we'll be able to restock our supplies for our next mission out.
Mm.
And the return trip will be much faster than the going there trip, just simply because we've cleared out that area when we're traveling through.
Yeah.
So honestly, I don't want to be out there for 5 whole days anyway.
Budget to be out there for 5 days. Be out there less.
Yeah.
This way, when one of you falls over, sprains your ankle, trips over a blade of grass, and we have to take longer getting back, we're not going to be, eating this damaged leg.
Oh, don't worry. I can walk on my hands.
Which ones?
The face hands.
No, face hands bad. No, we don't like face hands.
He can walk on his face hands and then use the other two for stability.
No.
If I need to.
That would make him a quadruped. If he's walking on his face hands and using the other two for stability, that makes him a quadruped.
Yeah.
I could be a quadruped sometimes. I do that when... If you've ever seen me climb a tree or a rock face, it's basically how I climb. I don't use my legs.
Oh. Oh no.
Why did I allow this?
Your bloody idea, mate. Sorry, that was sincere, wasn't it?
Right. Anyway, you pack other things. You buy some torches. Do you buy one torch? Do you buy more than one per torch? How many torches do you buy?
I bought 2.
Good. Excellent.
I paid for 2, and I paid for the tinderbox.
Yes. Good move. Did I say the tinderbox? How much does the tinderbox take up?
You said quarter slot.
Okay, yeah. So you have 1/4 slot left.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Right. Okay. So you pack your things. You warn your neighbors that if you see a hair misplaced on your couch, you'll murder them.
Yeah, I've told them that I've placed a strange zone device as an alert, and it will not only alert me that someone has entered my den, but also it will poison them over the course of 100 days.
There's some nodding.
Yeah. The fact that this is complete bollocks is totally irrelevant. They won't know, and I'm perfectly willing to feed somebody rot if they do try and burn me.
Yeah, most people wouldn't risk it probably since they have their own savannah to care of. And most people wouldn't risk it given the stories you bring back last time, and especially since with the last time you returned, Brog was shot through the spine.
Also, we have we've brought. Yep, I'm sorry, I'm being infected by the Southwest.
Sorry, there to my brain, however, I just think the Southwest is actually like that. Southwest to me is, is hello there, boy. Yeah, exactly.
I don't bother threatening anybody to stay out of my den because, one, they should respect us for the artifacts that we brought back and the work that we put into our museum. And this is a very cultured place. We should be cultured people and trust each other. Also, I'm a doctor, and if they fuck with my stuff and they get hurt, they're probably going to have problems on my cutting board bed.
Yes, you especially. Like, I think specifically the three of you are people that most people have decided not to mess with that much. And one is a doctor that they need if they manage to get hurt. One has a dog that is quite frankly terrifying. It's not a lot of dogs walking around. It's like a mutant on 4 legs, but it's savage. It's weird. And Swan is just Swan. Have you heard her talk? Oof.
Yeah, she's very creepy.
It's comforting.
Like Swan is basically if you're in a creepy hotel and you see like a child standing at the end of the corridor asking you to play with her. That's Swan. Basic survival instincts kicks in.
Swan, actually, I will tell you this for nothing. One of Swan's influences was the Exquisitor from Small Gods, Terry Pratchett's Small Gods, which is like an Inquisitor, only they torture information out of you via sort of tea, biscuits, and a nice chat.
Yep.
Very effective way of doing it.
That tracks.
Yep.
Right. You had you're currently in section Golf 18. What section are you planning on going to? Is it Golf 19 or where are you?
We're headed east, aren't we? So yeah, we are headed Golf 9. Yeah. 19, 20.
I think actually, come to think of that's probably the only feasible way since you can't really cross the water at this moment.
No, this is kind of the point. We're looking for a boat so we can cross the water because otherwise we can't cross the water to look for a boat when there's no water.
Yeah. I'm going to do something a little unorthodox. I'm going to ask you all to roll Scout for me.
Ooh,
this will be a difficult roll. I'm going to say you're going to need 3 successes to be able to stumble upon.
A skill I actually have. Oh my god.
That's because you're a zone stalker.
Yeah. When
I
I'm
also have
rolling.
scouts.
Sorry?
I also have scouts.
Yeah, go ahead. All of you can roll it.
Yeah.
I don't have scout, but I have wits.
Roll it.
Well, we've heard rumours. Okay, so that's my skill die, and the others are my wits dice. I can bring one success to the party.
You need individually. I'm
we-
going to.
We need individual 3s. That's a
You
shame.
need individually to get 3 successes on this one.
I might. It's gonna be slightly higher than 3 if you want to group them.
I got 2.
I only got 1.
Would lead the way, find the path be any use?
Hi.
No, but I might do this as a repeating thing. This might happen again.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Okay,
You
Cat.
start.
Right. And will know the zone do any?
Yes. Now I need you to roll a lead the way.
Okay.
For the next sector.
What's that done under? Because I've got lead the way, find the path, but no stats.
What did you say? I
Is
think
it wits?
I played a solo stock for 2 years. I should know. I'm pretty sure it's agility.
Agility. Oh yeah. Okay, fine. That's cool.
Because once again, agility in Sweden is called cold or cool, which I find it a weird translation to name it agility.
So agility.
Okay, I'm just gonna check real quick. Give me a second.
Let's do that one, and that's that, and that's that, and those 2. I could just roll those 4. And those 2. Right, okay. Sorry, I'm sorting out which I've got of various colours.
Yeah.
Okay, this is actually kind of cool. We like that.
Yeah, it's agility.
So we have 3 successes on 6 dice.
Yeah.
I think this
I
is
would like to
kind
point
of
out this is a hard system to get successes in.
Yeah.
except
Well,
your
to
name
be
is-
fair, 6 dice.
No, I mean, I've had 12 dice and I've rolled a single success several times. Right.
I rolled 27 dice before I got 1 success.
Oh god, at least it was like 30, I thought. But yeah.
Yes. So that means that you are successful in your lead way into the next sector, and you also get to choose bonus effects. Bonus effect is finding where in the sector you can find artifacts, knowing what the ROF level is in the zone, finding bullets, finding crop, finding water, or do it double. Go through the sector double the speed, or rush through the sector at a quarter of the speed.
Right. Do we want to go for fast travel, or do we want to bolster our supplies a bit on the way out?
The difference is that if you, it takes 4 hours to explore a zone properly.
Yeah.
If you do it at double the pace, it will be 2 hours, and you'll still properly explore it, and you'll get potential scrap and potential
Yeah.
artifacts. If you rush through, it takes an hour to go through the zone, but you won't get anything.
Yeah.
I think the middle ground one sounds pretty good. Yeah, thoroughly explore the zone, pick up a couple of bits, but we're not necessarily looking for the zone because we want to get to the river, because that's when we're going to start looking.
Okay, that's fine.
You are still technically part of this zone is still technically in nearby water. It's edging on. Yeah, no, it's hard because the line's very hard to see on the actual zone map. But there is a little bit of water in that sector, just so you're aware.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, if we're exploring, we're going to find, that's what we're looking for anyways, the water, so that we can follow the water and continue exploring. So
Using that one to get to the river, but no, the river's right on that top left corner, so I reckon a full.
might as well. If we fully explore as we go along, yeah, it's going to take more time, but there's more chance of us finding artifacts that might be useful.
Yeah, and the question then is, would Swan rather like to, or well, Draft rather use Swan's dice successes to, for example, find artifacts, or find crub, or find things like that?
Okay. Find artifact.
Right.
Do
And then you have one more.
Was that I have one roll?
Yeah, you have one more. You roll
sorry,
three
three
successes. You get
successes.
one for succeeding on the roll, and
Yep.
then one for finding artifacts, and then you have one left.
Let's go for grub.
All right, grub. The grub will be rot damaged.
Oh, never mind then. Yeah, skip that then.
But
Let's go with. Can we go through the zone in half the time then?
yeah, sure. Otherwise, you can't find rot-free water. I know you have a lot of that. Or bullets, or you can know what rot level is, because rot level is a thing that matters a lot. So far, you haven't been in a zone that has enough rot level, but some sectors have a rot level that means you get 1 rot per hour spent in the zone in the sector.
Sorry, that wasn't supposed to actually appear on camera.
And I'm gonna be rolling some dice.
That is not supposed to be there at all.
What's not supposed to be where?
Hang on a sec. I'll shift it down. I've just been corrupting one of the images of Martin the Martin.
Oh, that looks awesome. Hell yeah. Remember, that's one of the core rules of Mutant is that everything rots.
I discovered that there is a decay brush in this package I use. So I just went with a low flow, widely spread airbrushed eraser.
Anyway, what would you do?
And it looks kind of funky. So yeah, but I will hide him now. Okay.
What would you like to spend your... Was that on... You're spending 2 hours there? Is that?
Yeah.
So, right. So you use 1 die to...
1 die to make the roll, 1 die to look for artifacts, 1 die to go through half the speed. Sorry, twice the speed, half the time.
Alright. So you enter the next sector. This sector seems to be more of similar things that as your arc is placed upon. There is like more industrial, kind of concretey, asphalty. A lot of it has been kind of reclaimed by nature at certain points. But generally, that's kind of the vibe you see. And you also stumble upon, well, I shouldn't say stumble. You know exactly what you're doing, Swan.
Yeah.
You're a pro.
Yeah, Swan doesn't
you
stumble.
lead our party of zone explorers into kind of like a weird area. In the distance, through the zone smog, you begin to see a building. This seems to be like it seems to be partly, as most other things, it seems to be partly destroyed. But you see leading into this building tracks in the ground. Not railroad tracks. I should for the benefit of US players. These seems to be laid into the concrete, into the asphalt, and it seems to be solid all leading into this building that has a big like hangar-like door blocking it. But you find this building at least.
Well, somebody's been here, clearly.
Recently?
Oh, sorry, I should specify. Tracks, I mean as like railroad tracks. I mean like metal...
Oh, tracks, not tracks.
Tracks, not tracks.
Right, gotcha, okay.
Metal, there are grooves in the asphalt that are lined with metal. That all lead into this building.
Well, if nothing else, there's resources here that can be harvested.
Once we get a little bit more in terms of tech, we could probably have parties go out and collect more materials, build up the arc.
Yep. So, I think we should investigate this building.
All right.
Might be artifacts in there.
Might be a boat.
Might be a boat. It'd be embarrassing if there's a boat in there. And we made all this preparation for nothing.
Well, if there's a boat in there, then we can continue looking ahead for other things as well.
This is where we open it up, and it's, Big Billy's shack of boats.
That would be amazing.
No.
We found a boathouse.
No,
And the schematics for how to make them.
Paddleboard store.
Oh, that would be even better. We could have paddle boat parties on the river.
Would you really want to have a paddleboat party on a river that's that rotten?
Adds extra frisson of danger.
Honestly, with as rotten as it is, at least there's not any monsters that are going to eat us while we're paddling around, right?
Oh,
Maybe?
you optimist. Why are these things mutually exclusive?
Right.
This river is so completely corrupted, there's no way any kind of weird mutations are going to be... Oh, wait, hang on.
You start heading towards the building, at least. Are you sneaking? Are you walking? What's the approach?
Cautious, but I'm not assuming there's anybody in there.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
If you find a boat, we can chase Dracula upstream. Yes.
Basically.
Okay. Yeah. I can make use of my sneak ability, but I suspect that I am not the sneakiest person on the planet.
You're sneakier than me. Wait, no, I have a sneak of 1, but my agility is 2, so I could roll 3 for sneak.
Yeah, I could probably try and sneak in if you want.
I've got a sneak total of 5 because I've got 4 agility and 1 point in actual sneak.
Or we can just cautiously walk up,
Yeah.
knock on the door.
Why would we knock on the door?
I don't know.
Anyone in there, they're not going to be friendly, are they?
No, not knocking.
Yeah, but if they're not friendly and they answer the door, they'll be surprised that they have a gun, a spear, and a dog in their face.
They're going to be surprised if someone knocks on the door.
Gun, a
Right.
spear, and a gun, a spear, and a dog walk into a bar.
That's the end of social distancing for you. Right. Okay, so...
Yep.
Yeah,
What
I
he
think...
didn't say was that the dog was holding the gun and the spear.
Mutant Year Zero. Okay. It's like that wonderful Facebook post about Odin. Odin spends all his time on his throne at home with a 6-foot spear. Just in case anyone gets too close. Okay, right.
Keep tracking for him.
Yep.
So he doesn't need to go out.
Yep. Okay, so I think probably sneak, but Swan is going to go slightly ahead because she considers this her duty. And then if she was in the lead, then she can run away and hide, and everybody else can have a fight.
Yeah, in case something goes bad, you can just point to the other ones and then run.
Exactly, but she looks brave to start with.
Gotta keep up the image.
Yeah, the fact that she'll leg it as soon as anything happens.
Right, would you like to sneak then?
I would
Then
love
go
to
ahead and
sneak.
give me a sneak.
Okay.
I shall try and sneak as well,
Yeah,
because
might as well.
I'm fairly sneaky.
Yeah,
Go ahead, go ahead.
I suspect you're better. Well, there's 1 success already.
However, I shall not sneak particularly successfully with just 1 success out of 6 dice, which is about what I should get.
I mean, 1 success is you succeed on sneaking. You don't make them that much.
True.
I
On
don't.
6 dice.
I'm too busy
On 5 dice.
writing in
sorry.
my book with my hand mustache and carrying my spear in my other 2 hands.
Which hands are writing? Which set of hands are writing? And which set of hands are carrying the spear?
My
Do you
face
have a
hands are
spear
writing.
Well,
My face hands are writing. They're more dexterous.
yeah, definitely.
I hate
Also, I
the
can
phrase
actually
face
read what I'm
hands.
writing.
Yeah. God, maybe that's the thing. Maybe Mr. Moon is like nearsighted as well. Like he doesn't need glasses though because he always holds. He can always write so close to his face. Anyway.
I don't like face hands. Face hands is a horrible, horrible word. Or pair of words.
Would you like me to call them face guns again?
No.
Really
Right.
not.
You start sneaking up, and you enter this building. The hangar doors are kind of, but you see a side door
Okay.
that is open. Is the word that I'm looking for. No, it's not R. I remember my grammar from English class.
Yay.
And you enter into this building, Swan, at the front, I assume. And most of the inner part of this building is completely destroyed. Like it's barely you can barely recognize like what the walls are. There's a lot of debris. There's a lot of like crust and twisted metal. Something akin like there appears to have potentially been like other rooms in here, but they have completely collapsed and scattered.
Right.
But you do see a thing that you recognize.
Yeah, probably a drop bear.
You see one of these large blue tubes that you've found before in the zone.
I found the blue tube.
These large, they're half painted blue.
Aircraft hangar. Okay.
No.
Oh, all right.
Wings. It's just a tube with partly painted blue, part is painted white. This one seems to be on the upside. I mean, the other one you found was facing one way. This seems to be facing the other way.
Is it sitting on those metal tracks?
Yes, it is. It appears to be.
Does it have a face at the front with a really distressed-looking little Welsh person, kind of screaming from underneath?
I don't know the reference you're making, and I am worried for the health of the British country at the moment.
Hey, someone in chat, go ahead and find us a picture of what's the name of that train?
Thomas the Tank Engine.
Thomas the Tank. Find us a picture
Thomas
of
the Tank Engine. I don't know what that is. I've seen it dubbed. I've seen like one episode dubbed. Right? Yeah. No, it doesn't. It seems like the entire thing seems to be like fairly like streamlined, but it does have headlines at the beginning.
Okay.
It's part of it has been like kind of what's the term? It's been kind of crushed in a little bit. It seems to be fairly whole, but it seems like something that fell on it at some point.
Basically, there's a building inside a building, which is fine by me because now I'm going to go and look at the building.
Would you say that this building inside the building has a bullet shape to it?
Similar, slightly more rounded at the front than like your average, but very similar. Yeah, kind of similar. Oh, very kind of similar.
It's a track bullet. I write that in my book as I draw pictures of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you can see from inside here. As you're kind of just entering this, you also hear in the distance something that sounds like a very hoarse cawing, quickly followed by another very hoarse cawing, quickly followed by a third and fourth loud cawing. And as you look out through like the ruined part of the building, you see a swarm of what looks like big grey crows.
Okay, I'm abandoning stealth and hoping that they followed me in. Because if not, I'm yelling for them.
I'm definitely going in.
Oh, we're going to hide in the train?
We're going to hide in the building for starters. Anything with a door, I like.
Okay.
Right.
Door, roof, something that's sort of box-like.
Yeah, and, once we're inside the big building, then we can go inside the smaller building.
So you quickly close the door behind you.
Yep. After they come in.
Yeah. And what do you do next?
I look at the ceiling.
Right.
How open is the, basically is the roof intact? Because if it's not, I'm going straight into the blue
The
tube.
roof seems to be intact, or like a big, like part of it has been like part of the roofs and part of the wall has collapsed. Apart, so it doesn't seem like if somebody were to fly in, it could.
Right. Okay, so into the tube then.
Into the tube, and into the tube, and out of the tube, and into the tube.
Yeah.
Are there holes on the tube that things could fly into?
There are windows. They seem to be have some form of glass.
Okay, so the glass is intact.
It appears to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
From all we can see from here. Yeah.
So,
right.
now is not the time.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's right. What are you all doing?
I'm going into the tube with them and wondering how long we're going to be stuck in the tube.
I am looking, once inside the tube, I am looking for potential hazards and I'm also looking for a way to make sure that we can compartmentalize where we are. Internal doors.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if there's doors that I can close behind us.
Yeah.
Right. You since you have seen this before, you know that they are doors that function because they on the other one you saw, which was upside down. The door you could easily bend open the doors, and there's a similar thing here as well. You easily bend open the doors. There seems to be they have like handles that are kind of like plastic things that are shaped.
Okay.
A little cup that you kind of grab and open it. Takes a bit of force, not super much. Seems to be kind of well shaped actually.
It's when we find out that we've been pulling these doors open, they're actually sliding.
God, I wish. No, they're not. It's fucking heavy too. You bend them open, and you rush inside and close behind you.
Yep.
Inside, you see kind of similar. Once again, you have seen one of these before. There are metal parts basically holding seats. Some of the seats seem to be degrading in some parts. Most of them seem to be made of polyester, and there has been a very valid attempt for things to grow in them, and some of them have succeeded, and some of them have not. They don't seem to be rotting in a sense more than that there are things growing on them.
Yeah.
This one is in a lot better shape than the one you found out in the zone for obvious reasons.
Yep.
And so you go inside and you want to look and see if there's any. The door's closed behind you, no issue. And you want to see if you wanted to check if there was any other potential threats or similar things.
Yep. Yeah, I don't want us to run away from crows and then get mugged by gloopy little drop bears.
Yeah, right. You take a look at a quick peek.
Gloopy little drop. There's no such thing. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, there is.
Yes, there
The
is.
leeches. I dubbed them drop bears because we didn't have a name for them. That's what they are.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yes.
Little drop bears.
Right. You do a quick. It's not super long. This entire thing is maybe 10 meters. You're judging by Felix' terrible sense of distance.
Roughly how many carriages is it?
It's only one carriage.
It's one carriage, so yes. Okay, hang on a minute.
Yes.
This is where I now look up how long a carriage is.
Actually, let me check.
And just to be clear, this is a train carriage, correct?
No.
Or it's an airplane?
No, it's
Fuselage.
similar. This is a tram. I'm gonna show you a picture of
A
it.
tram. Okay.
Okay.
Pretty high-tech tram.
Yeah.
Could you think that? Not really. Give me a second.
Now I'm looking at up-to-date pictures of trams because that's not how my brain works.
I'm posting one in Discord.
Yeah.
Of the specific one that you are faced with.
Well, I know how wide the wheels are.
Oh, stop it.
It's
What are you doing?
disturbing.
Oh, gave me a too long link. Give me a good picture, damn it. Google. Beg of thee. There we go. There we go.
Okay.
That's what it looked like. Those could even the name would.
Bombardier.
The entire inside is painted like in a yellow color. That has
Yep.
nothing slightly more places, but yeah.
Okay.
Right. You do a quick check. There doesn't seem to be any major things.
Just nothing's actively attempting to eat our faces at this stage. Okay.
Correct. As you're inside this carriage, though, Raymer, you notice that Goose is kind of sniffing at something at the ground, and then kind of takes a bite.
Ew.
You can't kill Goose this early.
Can't kill Goose. That may actually not be possible.
I keep my fingers crossed.
Yeah.
It appears to bite at something.
Num num num.
Oh, I think chat may actually riot if we kill Goose. It's got that atmosphere.
Calm down.
We're calm.
If
You're the
one
one who has-
person lives through this, it must be Goose.
I love how Goose.
100%
Yes,
that.
No one
Goose.
kind of wants to kill Goose just out of a pure spite.
Goose is elevated to personhood.
Rest in peace, Goose.
No, you can't kill Goose off until at some point Goose has had the chance to breed with
I
something
haven't even
else.
given Goose damage yet. Calm down.
Do you want to borrow my spear to poke at the thing that Goose is nomming on?
Oh no! Don't put it like that.
It seems to have been like jogging in, like under one of the seats.
I'm going to take a look at what Goose has gotten onto the scent to and try and coax Goose away, but see what it is that Goose is interested in.
Right. You kind of call Goose to you, and Goose turns around, and you see like in his mouth there is something like white and kind of ish big that is just kind of trying to chew on, and it's far too big for his mouth to get a proper grip on. Right, okay, maybe 5 meters is more. I listen, it's usually 3 a.m. when I get on these things, alright?
Now, one single tram carriage is about 11 meters long,
Oh, you think?
so 33 feet. So that's pretty much what you said.
Oh my
So that's
god, never mind. My sense of distance is amazing. Never question me again.
Yes, thank you to the Stagecoach website, because I looked up the details on their super trams.
Oh boy.
Amazing.
Is there a goose called Dog? What, when Goose goes down, you reckon that actually the next thing is for Raymer to get a pet goose called Dog?
Yes. I would definitely start out a goose just for dog. Yes, hell yeah. Yeah, but yeah, this appears to be like some plastic, round cylinder plastic thing that he's holding in his mouth.
Front towards enemy. Sorry, that would be less of a cylinder.
What you got there, Goose? Give it here. Let's have a look.
It's a cylinder that's too big for Goose's mouth.
Well, too big to properly swallow, I should mention.
That's
Oh,
a
okay.
relief.
It's kind of well, this long and like about that wide, maybe kind of. Yeah, being the beautiful dog is, he drops it in hands, and you see that it appears to have like a little lid on it as well. Now, and also tooth marks at this point.
Is it a screw lid or a flip-top lid or? Okay, I'm going to try and unscrew the lid. Now, before I do that, let me shake it. Shake it like that.
Here,
That sounds good. What's inside? And I'll try and unscrew the lid.
right. You unscrew the lid, and you see a bunch of
It's good to know.
drop the die. You see 4 little white pills.
Drugs.
It always comes down to drugs.
Little white pills, though.
Put the lid back on. Mr. Moon,
Well, they're not.
you're a dog.
Oh yeah.
You do medical things.
hmm
Well, there's a handful of white little things in here that look more like they'd be at home in your office and anywhere with me and Goose.
Is there any writing on the tube, or is it completely gone?
Feel free to have yourself.
If there were any writing left, it's been chewed off at this point.
I should pass the tube over to Mister.
All right.
And I'm rather thankful that Goose didn't get to swallow it.
Yeah.
Because she would not have been happy with that.
Well, some of the medicines of the past could have paralyzed him, or made him drunk, or made him sleep for days, or made him gone completely psychotic and kill us all. There's a wide range of what these drugs can do. I'll have to do some testing when we get back.
It's a very simple 3-stage effect. Sleep, be ill, go psychotic and kill everything.
Yep.
Okay.
Or the opposite order.
All right. I need to find a pencil at some point. Four.
Only one way to be sure, Pop's pills.
So we have a pill bottle with 4 white pills in it.
Yes.
Oh, please let them be Tic Tacs.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Except Tic Tacs come in a rectangular, clear case.
Unless you get the big jar of them, in which case they come in a round case.
Who does that?
I don't think I've ever seen those in real life.
200
But-
Tic Tacs in one
They,
jar.
they come in a box, not unlike this thing of M&Ms.
Ah,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
weird. That's weird. Must be pretty
Which has cable tie velcros around it at the moment.
Yeah.
And I think it's full of, it's full of Lego bits.
Honestly, with the
Right
size that Felix was telling us, I'm very hopeful that they're multivitamins.
That would actually be quite useful.
Especially if we turn it in as an artifact and we do research on them so we can make our own multivitamins.
Technology! Yes, what they actually are is little gummy bears. But they're those multivitamin gummy bears for 6-year-olds.
Yeah, with smiley face.
It's been so long it's solidified into pills.
Like if you find a pill with a smiley face, you either it's a multivitamin for a kid or it's ecstasy. It's a 50-50 chance.
Yeah, it's...
Oh my god.
You know,
We
it's
should-
50-50.
There's 4 pills. All 4 of us should try one right now and see what happens.
With those giant black crows outside.
It could be a super drug. We could get all buff and shit for a couple of hours.
Or eaten by super crows.
Eaten by
Or
super.
Have you guys figured out how we're going to get out of here yet?
Not yet.
Not by eating drugs, no.
Yeah. I think we want
That's
to keep
currently
all our
my
wits.
only suggestion.
I think we want to keep our wits about us. I think you'll find.
Fair enough.
So, what I am doing is I'm looking to see if any of the windows open.
Let me think. You try one of the windows and you notice that it opens downwards, just yay much.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. What I'm after is, does it open just enough for me to get my gun through it?
Definitely
Right. That gives me a firing platform
correct.
in case in case the crows actually come in. And then I'm going to be in the position of trying to draw a bead on crows with a scrap rifle, because that's going to work. That's renowned for being reliable and accurate.
Similar to the zone leeches, what are called drop bears. Similar
Yeah.
to the drop bears, I should mention that there seems to be a lot of them, and you're not sure even if you would hit with every single bullet that you have the bullets to take care of it.
My theory is to treat them like animals, and to try and kill
Scare them
some
away.
that they get scared away. Yeah,
Right. Okay.
big bang.
The big greyish the big greyish bird swarm seems to be indeed drawing closer upon your location.
Okay,
Well, that's never good.
right. I think this.
Well, at least we're surrounded by glass and steel. And
Well-
the amount of space that's needed to shoot through, they wouldn't be able to get through. And also, I could probably stab underneath where you're shooting from, or above your head, into the same crack, because you're shooting through one of the doors, right?
Through one of the windows.
Windows.
One of the windows. So I could just wiggle it around and see if I hit something. Like a rowboat. Just stir them up.
You're free to wiggle it around if you wish, but wiggle it around out of someone else's
Wiggle
window.
it. Just
No,
wiggle it.
that's what I meant. If it's out the windows, we'll do it in. Yeah, sure.
Wiggle it into someone's window is now a phrase I can never unhear. It's now sorry, a metaphor I can now never unhear.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
There's more out there that we can kill in one go, so how about we find another way to persuade them to go away? I mean, your rifle might do it, but that's a bullet gone that you're never getting back.
Okay.
There are multiple doors. If we get them in here and escape through another door if we can get them in here and escape and then close the doors behind them on either side.
The door's only on one side of the.
Oh, it's only on one side? Well,
We only have one door.
Yep.
Do we have other exits?
Yes, there are 3 sets of door. The two on the sides are singles. The one in the middle is a double.
Ah.
Okay, I'm going to have a look around under the seats and everywhere to see if there is anything that's been missed. I know I'm looking for like emergency boxes, first aid kits, basically anything, fire blankets, basically anything like that.
How about one of those red canisters that shoots out powder?
Yeah, anything along those lines. I mean, ideally, what I'm after is a fire blanket, but that would be again another red canister with a pull cord.
No fire blankets. Next to one of the windows, there is a small hammer that is sitting like next to the glass.
Oh, we'll have the emergency hammer.
And it says underneath it. It says.
We wouldn't be able to read it. It would be Swedish.
Oh yeah, no, it's Swedish. I figured I was going to say
in case of emergency, break glass. Yes.
The opposite is Vidnöd. I don't remember. I'm embarrassing to my language. I'm trying to directly translate it, and it's not directly translated. It's kills like loss. Kills like loss. Oh, then something more. I don't remember. Oh fuck.
I assume it says break in case of emergency.
Yeah.
A word to that effect.
Yeah.
There's also a small picture which shows the hammer and some.
Yeah. Well, I am taking the small hammer.
Yeah.
Are you not going to break the glass open?
Not yet, no. No, I'd rather keep them outside, and they might get bored and go away.
Isn't there something behind the glass, though? Or is this for breaking a window?
The emergency hammers are for breaking windows. The bottom right usually will have a spot that says hit here.
Okay.
Because they have specifically weakened portions that you can attack, and it won't shatter the window. It will just pop the whole lot out.
I don't think these do. Not the older models, at least.
That's been around for quite a while.
Yeah.
Has been around for quite a while.
These do.
But God, it's hot in here. Sorry. Really
Yeah, no, it's getting increasingly warmer in my apartment too. I feel you.
Yeah.
Right. So the birds appear to be getting closer to the building. You can actually see them. They don't seem to be like attacking you. They don't seem to be attacking even this thing, but they're beginning to seat themselves on like the rubble and the ruins, on like the ruined portion of the walls, beginning to just sit down.
They're roosting.
Yeah.
They're playing the waiting game.
They're chilling.
We don't have anything flammable, do we?
Well, I don't know. Do we?
No, I don't think we do.
Well,
Got a torch.
other than stuff for making a fire when we get to light the torches and stuff. No. We don't want to waste that on getting rid of them.
No. On the other hand, I'd rather waste a torch than waste a bullet. Waste several bullets, even.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Would you like to roll near the zone? Any of you?
Very much so, yes.
Go ahead. Yeah, unfortunately, you left the flammable mutant at home. I don't know how to tell you this, Sean, but you can't solve every problem by pissing on them. I'm sorry.
It worked last time we had a
It didn't
problem.
work. It didn't work though.
I got a success.
Success. Right. Yes. you know that these are called scrap crows. You have had a couple of them, and for anyone who got a success as well, you have had a couple of them like occasionally drift by the arc as well. They like shiny stuff,
Okay.
and they are when they attack, they are vicious.
Right. So we definitely want them to go the hell away.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Right, I'm going to start with the cautious option. I am going to slide down one window a couple of inches, just enough that I can, if necessary, stand on the seat.
Yep.
But
no
take up a firing position with my scrap rifle.
Yeah. You choose a window which has a functional seat underneath it. Like some of them are a little broken, but you no issue. There's enough windows.
Yes. And this one, clearly you're supposed to stand on because all these photos, all these pictures, iconographic things next to each of the seats with feet and seat next to them.
They don't have that, no.
So obviously it's put your feet on the seat.
It's a British thing. They don't have the feet.
Most other people, I would imagine, don't need to be told to keep their feet off the seat.
No.
Right. I'm going, in that case, one of the ones that settled on there, I'm going to look for the biggest one I can find.
Sure. You find one that's slightly bigger than the others.
And I am going to aim at it carefully, draw a bead, and then shoot it.
Alright. Right, yes. So with aiming, I believe you get a +1, if I don't misremember the rules.
I believe so. That sounds about right.
Yes, give me a second.
It would be really helpful to have a gearhead in this instance because they could probably grab some of the shinier metal bits that are loose to make something that would reflect light really easily and toss it out the other building in the sunlight for them to flock around while we walk away.
Cool.
I would say that you are short distance away from you, so you get -1 on the roll. But since you're aiming, you also get and you have the windows. You also have like potential cover. So I gave you a +2, -1. So that's a +1.
Okay.
To your shooting.
My shooting.
You shoot.
Unfortunately, I am not the greatest shooter in the world. I'm not the worst.
This is where she rolls.
Oh, hang on. Yes, I am. I take it back.
Yeah.
This is where she rolls.
Because you're a soul stalker who has agility as the best stat.
So yeah, I'm on 7 dice at the moment. I'll get back to you in a minute.
And she shoots 10 of them through the head because they line up perfectly.
Yep, lined up for easy access.
Right. Okay.
The thing with Rot is, I never know if her heart is a "ha, I failed. Screw you guys. I'm not that. I don't roll that well," as you say, or is it a "ha, I rolled a lot of
I
dice."
haven't rolled yet. Hang on. I was literally getting 7 dice in my hands, which is
It
almost
feels
all
great.
the ones I've
This is
got.
like
Honestly, I think Drut gets the same amount of joy out of failing as she does at succeeding.
I really do. I only got 1 success. 7 dice, 1 success.
Yeah, that's enough. You. Let me just check a quick thing. Whoop.
Oh, hang on. I've got an extra die because the scrap rifle gets a bonus on its own.
Oh, yes, it does.
That has a bonus accuracy. So, nope, still just the 1 success.
Would you like to press your roll?
Yes.
Okay. That means everything except the 6s you reroll.
Yeah.
Everything except 6s and 1s.
6s and 1s. I didn't get any 1s, so that's a plus.
Because of course you didn't. Why would you?
Also, after pushing a roll, every one does damage to you.
Yes. I know. I'm willing to go for it.
I don't think anyone has actually pushed a roll yet in our playing
we
this game.
haven't.
This is the first.
Till entirety of last story.
Okay, well, we got no 1s, so that's a good thing. And we got 2 extra successes.
Extra success. I believe you can add on extra damage, or you can also use it for other similar cool effects.
If I add extra damage, can I go for blow through?
Drut's going to go through it and hits another one. I'm gonna tell you this right now. It won't matter because this is a swarm.
Yeah.
But I will. Oh wait. Here in the book. Some things are in other places than they should be. It's only slightly confusing. Only a little bit. That's who's it's under S. No, never mind. These are not in. There we go. Yeah, you can do 1 extra point of damage. You can choose that one several times. You can force the enemy to hold their, like, basically pin them down with your bullets. You could initially, doesn't matter. You can make them drop a thing, doesn't have anything, or you can make it to fall backwards or fall off something.
Well, if I've shot a crow, I'm reasonably sure it's falling off something.
Sure. Yeah.
They're one of them. I'm gonna go for extra damage because it's gonna look impressive.
So how much damage is that?
Beg pardon?
How much damage is that overall?
How much damage is that overall? It does 4 points of damage if it's double damage.
It's not double. It's plus.
It's not double.
1.
It's plus 1. It's plus 2, in fact. So yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sweet.
So yeah, 4 points.
4 points. Excellent. Right. You shoot this crow and its heads explode. It's hard to shoot a crow even of this size, like through the head, but it's one person we're talking about. Doesn't matter. The head of this one explodes and falls back over the
This is
wound
kind of
it's placing on.
scanners of crows.
Yeah, you did a murder of crow.
Yes.
Well.
Yes. Ouch.
A murder of
Singular.
singular murder of crow. And
Just
a
don't
couple of them
it.
scatter back at the sudden loud noise
Yeah.
ringing out from this gun, and then they perch again.
Okay, well that made me feel better, but it wasn't actually all that useful. Sorry about that. Where was the entrance? Where was the main door that we came in
It's
through?
out and to the left. Yeah, it's out and to the left, and
And-
they are kind of to the right-ish.
Okay. So we could theoretically get out and cause the and basically sneak away from the crows.
They seem to be focused on you at the moment. You could attempt it, but the best thing in that case would probably be to somehow get out through the back of the tram
Yeah.
and work away that way.
Okay, I'm going up. I'm going up to the front of the tram. I'm not a gearhead in any way, shape, or form, but I live in a VW Beetle, so I know that the driving bit happens at the front.
Yes, and your suspicions are confirmed when there is a little booth, which has like a glass. It has a door which is partway glass. That is closed
Yeah.
next to one of the front doors. Next to the front door.
So, are there any controls up at the front?
You can see a couple of rods and buttons.
You see, I'm wondering, and this is only because, as I said, I've seen people. We've established what people get up to on the car deck. I'm just wondering about setting fire to the electricals.
Okay. Yeah.
Which will attract their attention while we piss off in the other direction. But Swan only, her knowledge consists of find where the wires are and then try sticking them all together.
That would cause a fire, potentially. I'm trying to decide if that would lure them in.
Well, that would either lure them in or it would cause smoke and we could flee undercover.
That's very fair. You know what? If you want to go ahead and fuck with the white wires, I will allow a roll that is comprehend.
Yeah.
Are you sure you don't want me to do this? You had the idea, but
I am perfectly happy if somebody else is more adept at fucking with wires than I am. To be honest, or I can help. What I am
you can help.
thinking...
It's your idea. That would be... I just was asking because I have wits, a lot of them.
Yeah, because I mean, I have a tinderbox, but I really don't want to burn through our supplies too soon. And if
While
we
we're
can,
inside it?
yeah.
The tinderbox I would say is a multi-use one. It's one of these like boxes with like the
Yeah.
old-fashioned.
If we can do something dramatic involving the wires, then I'd rather do that because that would just look cool. What I am going to do is I am going to start pulling the cushions off the seats because they look smelly and horrible and they look like they'll burn smokily.
They definitely would.
Yes.
So if Mr. Moon starts pissing about with the wires and trying to cause sparking, probably using seat covers to start with for fuel, shreds of those.
You got an idea. What if they go away from the smell, and as we escape, they follow us?
I'm hoping we'll still smell of the smoke.
Well, what if?
Also, we should probably put all of our shiny bits underneath our jackets because they like shiny things.
And what if we take a bunch of that stuff you're pulling off the seats and stick that on the end of a chain and I swing it over our heads while we're going?
It's not a bad
after lighting on fire?
Have you just created an evil incense burner?
I would say, if you would like to just take some, because you have a knife, right? So one of you have a knife for like tearing the seats off. Or one of you have a knife, right? Does none of you have a knife?
Got a dog with claws.
I've got a spear.
You've got the spear, actually. It's probably your best bet.
Yeah. So
because you can get the leverage up then.
Yeah. In that case, if you would just like to tear this up and then use the tinderbox to light it on fire and put it on the shade and do all of that, I wouldn't require any rules. That would just happen. That's just a thing you can do. If you like to fuck with the electronics, that's going to require a rule.
Yeah, I'm going to fuck with the electronics to try and make sparks to attract their attention as well.
You know what would be
Use the
awesome?
front portion.
Is if the lights went on the front.
Oh, that would work even better.
Yeah, but unfortunately Swan doesn't know that. Because electric lighting, I'm guessing, is something that she is not familiar with.
You know what? I'm going to allow Mr. Moon to do a comprehend, and if he succeeds, he will accidentally turn on the lights. If he succeeds by 2. If he succeeds by 1, he will create sparks, because that's what he's looking for. So
if I succeed by 3 or 4, just
something very fun
tram lift off and take us home.
We'll see. Go ahead and roll a comprehend.
2 successes.
2 successes. Would you like to push it?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Go ahead.
4 successes.
Yes. All right. Okay. So Mr. Moon, utilizing the full ability of his 4 arms,
yes,
he begins using his spear to crack up the control panel that is in front of this tram, and starts pulling wires out, starts putting them together, and suddenly there's a low hum as the engine starts. The lights up.
Excellent.
And shortly after that, you begin to feel the pull forward as the tram starts going, followed by a crash as it crashes into the closed hangar door. And it kind of stands there, lights glowing. The birds have noticed this, and they are beginning to flood towards the very shiny hangar door that is lit up by the headlamp.
Out the back door, guys.
Right, out, grab our trolley and leg it.
Right, you begin legging it. Could you all roll me escape, please? Just to see. Escape.
Is that move?
It's move, yes. It's
yes.
easily translated.
Yeah, no problem.
Should be escape.
I say no problem.
Well,
yes.
I'm glad that I got a success out of 2 dice.
A success.
Do 1s negate 6s?
No.
Thankful for that.
I have 2 6s and a 1. Does that mean anything?
That means you have 2 successes. The only times the 1s matters are when you are pushing your roll.
That's a relief. I was sweating on that for a minute.
It's all right. you tear open the thing and you book it out through the ruined part of the building, and it starts legging it out of the zone, out of this sector.
Yeah.
Right. It takes a bit to continue tracking through the sector, but after a while, this sector is also left behind you.
And we're up near the river now.
Yes. The question now is: would you like to continue east? The river is barely cresting the top of this one, or would you like to go up? Which means you would potentially need to. I'm gonna check. That means you would need to cross the river. Which I don't know if you have a way of doing.
I don't think we wanted to cross the river. We just want to follow the river. So I guess we're going across the corner there.
Yeah.
We're going up to F20.
That looks about right to me.
Yeah. I'm going to say that since a lot of that zone isn't across, like is on this part of the river, I'm not going to count that as an explored zone.
Okay.
If you make your way back the same way, I'll count it explored. But for like the general purpose of the game, I will not count it as a fully explored zone, sector, I should say.
Because it's such a small portion of it.
Yes. Right. Roll me a lead away, please, Mrs.
Okay.
Soanspear.
So that's 2. Yeah. Okay, that's 6. So. That is 2 successes.
All right. What would your extra effect be?
Quick.
Yeah, I would like to get us away, so I want us to get through the zone.
All right.
In half the
So are you
time.
doing it on the forward doubled? So which means you won't find anything, and you won't fully explode it, which you wouldn't quite do anyway.
Yeah.
That we just get past it.
Yeah, we just want to get through.
All right.
Want to get to somewhere useful.
Yeah, you rush past it, which seems to be more kind of industrial ish, for as far as you can tell. You stumble across like asphalt, and there's like a
Okay.
car wreckage or two on the way you trek. But you rush past this sector. See, this was is this? This is the wait, which is this is
F20, because we would have passed
F20,
along
yeah.
that corner.
F20. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Fantastic.
am going to take a very, very brief bio break while you sort out where we are next.
Yes, I was about to suggest that as well because I
Okay.
also.
Back in the mo, guys.
Right. Let's just take a 3-minute break, just in case people want to
Okay.
replace it.
Here I also want to, but I don't want to leave you guys all alone. Talking to yourselves in chat. Oh, right, you're not. Yes, child.
Are they done?
No, they're taking a break.
Oh.
I would also like to take a break, but I don't want to leave chat alone by themselves. Do you want to sit here and talk for me?
Oh, okay.
Pretend to be a mutant?
Yeah. What do you mean, pretend to be a mutant?
Or you could just sit here and stare at your picture and pick your nose and entertain them that way.
I need to go grab my Switch then. Also,
You don't need your Switch. They're not going to watch you play games.
I'm actually going to be making a ghost house level with as Luigi leaves the cave,
Okay, you go do that.
and
I'm not going to leave you on screen by yourself for a second. That would be not okay.
for the other the next coupon.
Because he's 8 and I don't trust him to be able to handle himself against adults. Also, you wouldn't be able to see the screen. He'd be playing like this. We'll be back too.
Right, now I'm back at least.
I just unmuted it for no reason.
Thank you very much, chat. I'm glad people seem to be enjoying it so far. I have some plans, maybe. Perhaps. Who knows? Plans, sequence. Good stuff. Oh, sorry for moving back forth. I have all my books there because they don't fit on my desk, so I have to like kind of reach around to get them all the time. But oh well. Is this the point where I scheme with the rest of the chat before my players arrive? Oh, never mind. I've been found out. Flee! Scatter!
Okay. We have tech support going on in chat. Okay, that's weird.
What's weird?
I'm just reading Molier's problem in chat.
Yeah, understandable indeed.
God. Set my hair out. I only took my headphones off. Apparently this equates to going out in the force 7 gale. No, that is entirely understandable, Molly. That's better. Drat and look human. Yay.
Right. That was something I was supposed to look up, but I didn't.
I'm back. Hey, watch out! You're gonna squish the bread.
I didn't even see that, though.
Now that's
Because you
just,
don't watch what you're doing.
that's just grey scariness that's going on underneath there.
What's scary?
Sorry, it was just because your camera wasn't back on. It was struggle, rustle. Wait, no, what do you do?
My small child was trying to murder me.
No, I wasn't.
So long as it was nothing serious.
They do that all the time.
So I gather.
Mm,
And then their small children tried to murder you as well.
Oh dear, did
If
you
we
just...
find any small children in the zone, we should run.
Yes.
Why?
Or murder them.
Why?
or eat them, I
Murder.
think we decided was a good thing as well.
Mm.
I mean, as long as they weren't full of rot.
Also, were you even talking about me?
Are you a small child?
Yeah?
Well, then technically we were.
I'm not murdered. I'm not trying to murder you.
Thank you for saying that. We
Right.
appreciate knowing that you're not trying to murder
Yeah,
us.
we're very happy that we're not about to be murdered by a child. Although Sean might be, who knows?
Yes.
Uh,
We've seen the midwich cuckoos. The eyes start glowing.
yeah.
Well, I've only got him for another 4-ish hours, so I can survive that.
Fair enough.
And he only needs the pink for the championship.
We're playing again. You can pillow attack me after. Okay? Stop. We're done? No. We're done.
Okay.
Thank
Right.
you.
Kicking back into it. If I understand correctly, you're going towards F21.
F20, yeah. F21, yeah.
Yes. Because F20 you kind of rushed past.
Yeah, we kind of bombed through.
So now we're jumping into F21 then.
Correct. Roll me a lead away, please.
I'm
Roll high.
sorry to say so, but I'm going to have to drop, I'm afraid.
All right.
The headache that I've been battling has been getting worse rather than better. The last thing I need to be doing is looking at a computer screen.
I was going to say, the amount of time you've been spending with your eyes shut, yeah, I was wondering.
We're also getting pretty close to when we normally end game anyway.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
thinking if we should end it now in that case.
I have a success, so we may as well just get that. We can establish ourselves in this zone, and then we can
yes.
call it.
So you're in the zone, you're going to explore it, and that's what we're going to pick up next
Yep.
session.
Okay.
Fantastic. All right. Thank you all.
Don't be sorry, Knight. It's
Shit happens.
Yeah.
also, do you realize how much we actually accomplished in this short amount of time?
We got a lot of
Lots.
things done.
Yeah.
And we got most of the things I wanted to get done as well, which is mainly just start exploring the zone. And this is a great way to leave off, and leaves me more time to prepare all things for you to happen in the next sector. Right. So, thank you for playing, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Next
great-
week is back to The Witcher, I believe. She says.
I think so.
Didn't you just update it today?
Yes, I did update it today, but I got slightly thrown because we had a couple of not happenings.
Is
As
it
a
in
result-
planning or is it in general?
I think it's in about 3 channels, to be fair.
Okay.
But yeah, I believe we are back to The Witcher because my life ain't that easy, and so I'll be writing a Witcher scenario all week, and then I'll
Yep.
be running The Witcher separately.
And then the weekend after that is Swords of Slaughterdeep.
It is, yes.
Sweet.
It is indeed.
All
So
right.
yes, next week should be the mid-season finale of Wilhelm's Cream,
Fantastic.
and I need to dig up the mafiosi music before I run it. So,
Fantastic.
thank you very much, Felix, and hope you feel better later night, or better so very soon, ideally. And otherwise, we will see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.